Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wargaming.net League 2017 fall season. I'm James Rockstar Grieve, joined alongside by Randall Rookhill Holcomb. Today is Matchday 13. We are starting the last week of the regular season. And boy, we have some fun roster changes over the weekend.
Oh yes, we've had quite a shakeup, and we'll be, of course, detailing those later on today. But first things first, tell us all your thoughts and feelings about everything here, WGLNA, on Twitter at WGLNA, using the hashtag WGLNA. We'll find your tweets, put them up here on the broadcast as well. Go over to facebook.com/WGLNA. And, well, check out James and I going live on every single match day before this show, where we give tips, tricks, whatever, on fantasy, little insights onto the roster changes, for example. So go on over there and check it out.
Yep, and speaking of fantasy, you can find that at fantasytanks.com. Pick your best starting 7 plus 1 reserve, and try to earn yourself Type 59. Prizes are daily as well as for the season. So even if you haven't played so far this season, you can still play for today, tomorrow, and possibly the playoffs. Try to get Type 59, gold, boost, a whole bunch of other things. This is the only place where you can pretty much get a Type 59 where they're available consistently. So there's no reason not to do it. See how you stack up versus the rest of us.
Of course. And now let's take a look at the standings so far. This is the beginning of the final week. Elevate leads the way by a grand margin. They're untouchable. Eclipse in second with 24, and right on their heels is Dare Rising.
Yeah, and then top tier, Teal Team 6, Aquatic M60s, F7, and 07. Now, key notes here. 07, they're just here to crush dreams, starting with F7s tonight. They pretty much are completely eliminated from the playoffs. They can only pass F7 if they win both their matches, which will be a long shot. And then Aquatic M60s, they need to win both their matches, having a shot at trying to move up in seeding. But at that point, 6th place is basically theirs unless they somehow don't pick up any points in F7, manage to win both their matches, which highly unlikely. Now let's move on to today's matches to see where we sit today. Looking at it, 07 versus F7, like we just talked about. These are some big 3 points that F7 really need to have any sort of shot at making playoffs. And then Eclipse versus Teal Team 6. Teal Team 6 have looked really hot lately. We have to see if they can keep up the momentum. They made some roster changes of their own as well. We'll get to that later. And then Eclipse also making a giant roster change. We'll get to that when we get to that match. Dare Rising versus Aquatic M60s and Elevate versus Top Tier will be the offline matches today.
All right. Moving on from that one, let's talk a little bit about our first match. It's going to be 07 versus F7. 07 to start this one out. They've made some small changes, picking up Bloop and dropping as well.
Well, you'll notice 2 names that are not there. We will find them over on the team of F7.
Yes, on the other side, F7 has picked up Andy Pans and Makos. They themselves have dropped Ali the Persian Dude and Vale.
And we will see Ali the Persian Dude later tonight. Don't worry, he is not gone for forever. But, Makos and Andy Pans, what do you make of those pickups for F7?
They should be good. We'll see how they mix in with the team. Players are solid. It's just a question of whether or not we'll see both players on the battlefield and whether or not they'll mix well with the team. Tonight will be probably the first little bit of info on that.
Yeah, if F7 are going to have any chance of making the playoffs, they need to win tonight. They also need to win their match or get a point out of their match on Thursday, which will be versus Top Tier. So 2 vitally important matches for F7 if they are going to have any sort of outside shot at making the playoffs. Past that, M60s, they just need, a win to basically shut them out.
Pretty much. That's all they have to do. It's relatively safe for them. They're not in that dangerous of a position. But if tonight doesn't go very well, they very well could find themselves in exactly that tricky situation.
Yep. Now, speaking of tricky situations, let's see what situations we'll have for the maps tonight. See what happens. Bands coming in here. Cliff and Mines. Nothing surprising there. Cliff is actually one of F7's better maps, so 07 making sure to get rid of that, not wanting to touch them on it. Yep. Prokhorovka first, map that I haven't seen F7 play too much this season.
Yeah, we'll see that. And then after that, Ghost Town. 07's choosing to defend there. Ruinberg and Murrow are out. Some maps that are a little dicier for them. And then Sand River and Himmelsdorf is the last 2 maps. F7 defending, and then 07 choosing to attack on Himmelsdorf. Okay.
Yeah. Now, fun fact, Prokhorovka is actually the first time all season that F7 will have played it.
Huh. Well, then we'll get a nice little treat. We'll see how well they do. And then finally, the tiebreaker is Himmelsdorf.
So we're going to end it with Himmelsdorf one way or another if we make it to the last map, if it doesn't end before that. I do think, looking at it right now, I do think this will be a closer match. 07 are going to be a little bit lack of motivation, I think is the best way to say it. A little demoralized, just because they know they can't make the playoffs, and they're here basically just to crush dreams and try to get 7th place.
I mean, crushing dreams is kind of fun.
Yep. I actually don't know off the top of my head the prize pool breakdown. Is there a difference between 7th and 8th?
Yes.
No, and there's that. So a little bit of money for them to fight over. But, sometimes they clump together. The bottom teams don't make playoffs, so not off the top of my head. Anyways, moving on. So, predictions.
All right, let's take a look at those, because I was saying 3-5 favoring F7.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much all feeling the same thing.
Yeah.
F7, they're the ones with the motivation. They need the win the most. A loss here would basically be catastrophic and pretty much end their season.
They kind of just stole 2 players from the other team.
Yeah.
Chances are it's going to be a little F7-sided. But, of course, I do expect 07 to be able to win battles should they show up in full capacity.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of these happening tonight where teams stole players from a different team, and they have to play their old team, their first match with the team, because also the Aquatic M60s versus Dare. For those that didn't see the Facebook Live show and haven't checked the fantasy website, Mr. Man has joined Dare Rising from Aquatic M60s, and they play each other tonight. So that's just kind of big news in general. You won't see either of those teams on broadcast, but especially next match day or today, Mr. Man on Dare. That's going to be some big news.
Absolutely is. Now, James, I am being told that we have both team captains on the line ready to go, and we're going to invite them to join us on the face-off. Gentlemen, welcome back. Meadow, what happened? Oh, man.
Oh, it just had to pack up shop,
Oh.
There's a lot of good memories in this box.
Memories?
After last week, I figured it's time to pack everything up, store the good memories. We got some signs here. It's great. Oh, you might remember this one, James. Our trip to Comic-Con so you could meet Bree from your WrestleMania. That's a good picture. That was a great memory. I love that one. We're gonna put that one up there.
Wow, he looks so young then.
Absolutely great. Yeah, he's quite striking in that picture, I must say. That was a good trip. That was 2016 in Chicago, I think. It was great. Yeah.
All right.
I don't even know where to start with that one. All right,
check it out, people. It happened. It happened. It was the Wizard World Comic-Con, Chicago 2016.
Yeah.
It was a great trip.
All right, Chase, you're sitting over there. We haven't seen you all this season. Glad to have you on the face-off.
Yeah, first time this season.
Now, you made some roster changes. You stole a couple players from 07 as they are packing shop. What are you hoping to get out of them?
We lost a memer, and I'm hoping we gain 2 more memers back onto our team.
How are their memes? Of what quality?
They're pretty bad memes. They're not fun at all.
They're not fun memes. So what do you do with when it comes down to training for your meme game?
Meme during scrims.
Meme during scrims. Do you meme outside of scrims?
Not really. We don't really know them yet.
Oh.
We only play with them twice.
So
well, that's actually really insightful.
This should be fun. All right, Meadowhawk. Now you picked up Bloop. How'd that materialize? When did you find out that these guys were joining F7, and how'd that all come about?
Everyone always contacts me. Obviously, I'm the face of the team, so people are always contacting me in-game on my main account, just asking if there's spots open. Obviously, we knew Andy and Makos. Well, Andy was a bit last minute. Makos, we knew was going. He obviously, he wants a chance to make playoffs, which we're fine with. I mean, we're hoping that. Obviously, it's kind of a catch-22 today because we want to play spoilers, but we'll be spoiling our old teammates. It's kind of, there was no animosity towards them leaving. Obviously, kind of we're just down here and we're fine with it, and we're hoping the best for them. But at the same time, we don't want the best for them. Because
you want to win too,
Yeah, we want to win too, and we want to stick the knife in them and just let it go. But it's been hard. Blue kind of came in because we need bodies. I think FC and Colazoid are having just health issues and internet. I think Colazoid's been out just terrible internet for the past couple weeks. Oh. So we need people to actually fill the roster, so we have 7 to play.
Oh,
all right. Well, now that we got all that away, Meadowhawk, you have any final thoughts for Chase Potato?
Well, it's going to be a good game, as always. I'm hoping this won't be my last interview. I mean, because I could be back in an hour, which would be nice. If not, I just want to thank everyone. It's been a blast. Obviously, all good things must come to an end. We'll see what happens next season. There's been wild speculations as to what's going on.
Every season. Come on.
I think, yeah, that's true. Every season, that's true. This jersey might go up to the Raptors, though, I think. And I think everyone can know where to find me. I'll be out there with Tofu and Jay Smooth. Find me in the danger zone, people.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Chase Potato. Any final thoughts from Hawk 07?
Good games and have fun.
All right.
All right, thanks.
We'll see you on the battlefield. Thank you, gentlemen.
That's a throwback right there.
That is. Oh, man.
It's like Meadowhawk is stalking me, too.
If Meadow goes and joins the others in the danger zone, the eternal afterlife of all tankers who've memed well on face-offs, we'll miss him if he
I can already see all three of those out on a golf course somewhere in Palm Desert.
Oh, gosh, I can see it, too. I've lived in California for too long.
Yeah.
Just in the middle of nothing, all of a sudden just green, and then just seeing them putting. Actually, I bet Jason is pretty good at golf.
Yep.
He's probably pretty good. I don't know about Meadow, though.
Meadowhawk's one of those jack of all trades.
Is he?
I'm
Is he
sure
good?
he's decent.
Okay.
I know when he broke his foot, that was playing sports about a year ago. So.
Well, just not golf in particular. I thought maybe he'd be like bowling or into like scuba.
Well, scuba we know.
Yeah.
All right. So now, focusing back onto this match at hand.
Yes. All right.
Looking at the maps that they played, predictions. Like we talked about earlier, I'm still leaning pretty heavily towards F7, but 07 with the right players, they're starting to get things together. They're starting to take rounds. But do you think they have it in them to play spoiler tonight?
Based off of Meadow's interview, I'd say no. I'd almost want to change my prediction from 3 to 5 to something slightly less, but it's tricky. I think this first battle might be telling, but it also might take us all of Proc to figure out where these guys are at. I'd say strap in and just see what happens, because you know what? If 07 shows up and blows up, awesome. But
I think if they can get at least one round on Proc, I think they'll be fine. If they get shut out on Proc, a map which they've played a lot this season, then I think this could be a fairly quick series done in 5-0, 5-1. Now F7 though, they've had a lot of growing pains this season. They've made a lot of mistakes, and they have two of their players which have only played with their team twice. Chase is just being brutally honest. We've only had a couple of games with them.
Fair enough. But Chase is good.
Yeah.
Chase is solid. And it's less anything about F7 and more for me what 07's thinking of doing.
Yep. So Colswade actually not in the starting lineup for 07. Warbandor, FC Dynamo, Bloop, Arclet, Rocks, Major Issues, and Fosta all playing lineups. 113, 2.5As, 263, and 3 bat chats for 07. Meanwhile, F7, an IS7, 2.5As, a 103B, and 3 bat chats.
Makes sense, the 103B on defense.
263, Randall, we've talked about it a good bit. We get Arclet in it this time. What do you make of it?
I love it. It's a beautiful tank. It fires fast, hits hard, decent front armor, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
I've always liked it.
Yeah.
I never got it on my main account, but I played it on some sheriffs and stuff. And
No.
It's fun. It certainly is very good.
It was the first tank destroyer, tier 10 tank destroyer I ever got, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it was one of the ones that just stuck out to me that I always wanted, and it's a good bit of fun to play. The alpha on it is just really nice. The 590 alpha, it hits hard, but it's laser accurate, and the frontal armor is good.
I actually made a huge mistake on my personal account, and I actually used to have the Object 704. And I actually used to play it in Clan Wars from time to time.
Well, yeah, 704 is just so good, though.
In its heyday, it was the predecessor here of the 263. In its heyday, it was a solid tank.
No.
And it used to be just, it hit really hard.
Then the 268 became a thing.
And it's just better. It's only better. I have no complaints. But I do regret selling the 704 so I could buy my IS7, and then, yeah, it's a long story. But
Yeah. Well, we've been reminiscing here about tanks of old. Just a couple of opening scout runs. Everyone pretty much holding passive. No big opening plays.
got a
263 holding the 7 line.
got a little nonsense with the 113 5A down in the 1-2 line, telling me that's a possibility looking later in the battle. And then stacks in mid. 263 being on the tracks, James. That tells you 07's possibly just looking to play 1-2 line eventually, keeping that 263 to watch the mid-ridge and then flipping west once it becomes appropriate.
To me, it says that he's ready to flex either way quickly. 263 is probably the slowest tank they brought, even though it's pretty fast. It's the slowest of them. If it needs to rotate over the 1 line, it can. But if it needs to get over and push down at 7 line, it can move up quickly. So leaving it kind of a middle spot. Looks like you were right, though.
Yeah. Yay! It's just the 113 5A. You wouldn't send them over to the 1-2 line unless you thought maybe you were going to keep that.
Well, if you remember back, Eclipse and Elevate with some of the baits that they've run, where they leave, a couple heavy tanks down there in that corner in the little nook right there. There's a little low spot where they can hide, and they get spotted over on the 7-8 line. What happens is it triggers teams into making a rotation, clearing that 1-2 line, and then they push a Batchat into a couple of hold-down heavy tanks if they're unspotted, and that can be disastrous. Now, it doesn't look like they're going to do that, though, because they're rotating. Arclet taking time just to ride the red line all the way over here so it doesn't possibly get spotted, which would also be disastrous right now because the side is to the whole other team. Would take a lot of damage for that for sure. Yep. Actually, not as bad, seeing as it's only a Batchat and an I7. So you still take damage, but it wouldn't be as bad as if it was like a Stratway I've seen out of top tier with multiple heavy tanks on mid-ridge right now.
So James, real quick, we'll take a look at this whole battlefield and see where everything's stacked up for F7.
Yep. All in that corner.
Yep. And guess where it looks like 07's getting ready to go?
All down that one line.
Yeah, this is going to be a nice clash, isn't it?
Yeah, they have the 1-5A over at A6, and his job is basically just to survive, just to stay alive. He has a train car that he can hide behind. So if, say, 2 or 3 Batchats push over there trying to create this pincer, he can easily be covered and or just spot them, and they can focus on killing one side on that one line while he keeps those Batchats down. So I think he'll be fine right over there. Yeah. Now, Arclet is sitting here looking for something to get spotted down that one line, playing the high ground right here, has a decent angle. Can't hit all the way down that one line, but he can hit most of it.
Yeah, I like the way the one line's designed, honestly, because when it used to be super flat, you could fire from all the way over in like A1, or sorry, A0, yeah, A1, and you could hit something all the way down in K1. And once they added those little mid-ridges, it changed the entire thing, because now you could no longer snipe outside of draw
range, yeah.
Yeah, because that's always tricky when you're playing with guys this good. Yep. They know how to shoot blind into a...
They also know that people like to sit in bushes. It's kind of a bad... I don't want to say a bad habit, but it's just where a lot of people sit. So
it's a habit.
It's a habit, yeah, exactly. And
well, hey, I found someone who broke the habit.
Well, of course it would be Zoned breaking the habit, though.
Good job, Zoned.
It's got to be edgy. Can't be normal like everyone else.
Why do you got to say normal?
Status quo. Fit along with everyone else. Now, just no movement out of F7. And here we finally see the push. The 113 is pushing down. First spot on the 113 and the 5A. Expect to see Makos open up here as soon as they cross this little ridge they were talking about. Open up. First shot coming in, landing short. But now that they've crossed the high point, most of these guns should be able to start getting damaged. Actually, the Batchats have been holding their shells for the moment.
They want to wait for range. You got to wait till they're in range. Don't want to waste those shells. As Fosta is managing to actually avoid a lot of damage so far. This is quite nice for him. And you can see Andy Pan's nicely done. He backs himself out. At the same time, Knight in the middle of the map is taking fire. Looks like that'll be coming from FC Dynamo and Warband, Batchats doing their job. While Fosta finally sees Zoned in the 5A. Zero's up, but that's a hold down.
So they can't spot Makos in that red line in the bushes. They'll know roughly where he is, but they can't see him. He should be able to just farm some nice damage. Fosta knows this. He's going to push forward, and this is where the point of no return happens. If all these Batchats can just perma-track one of these two, they should have the burst here to just annihilate them. And Arclet's actually going to push in a little bit more. They still have not spotted Makos down there. They have some idea, but they're bleeding a lot of HP. Meanwhile, on the middle ridge, the Batchats are actually swarming Knight. They are trying to take him out in the middle, and he's down to a one-shot. This is not going good for F7 so far. They need to clean up that one line quickly. However, they do take down Bloop and the Batchat behind him, take down the soft target, but they really need to push their way into these heavy tanks while those Batchats are on reload.
And here comes the press from F7. You've got everybody grouping up into a nice little train to come take on the remaining tanks. They realize the overmatch is here. You guys have the opportunity. Just get there. Andy, in the same time, trying to get some shots on something, is kind of blocked and is only able to find Warbander. Focus fire not really finding its target like it should. And that was a costly hold for F7. They should be able to beat 07 all the same here, but that did not go as well as I would have expected.
They didn't do a good enough job on the heavy tanks there. When Knight went down, when you're losing a heavy tank like that, you know that those Batchats are spending the shells, and they had the overmatch on the one line, but they really didn't capitalize on it.
Yeah, and that's kind of the struggle there. And now it's a 4-4, where actually hit points are about the same.
Zoned actually didn't pin that shot onto Arclet, though.
Yeah, Arclet's actually making himself a rather tricky target. Credit to Arclet. You can see he's using a wreck as cover, and because of that, the only thing Makos can see is only just barely the top of that object 263, and it looks like he's actually loading HE.
Yeah,
at this
and now
point.
FC Dynamo's pushing over. He takes a lot of shots. Warbander is going to join him fully loaded with that Batchat, and they're actually going to find Halo. Spirit has shots, though. He's going to start returning some shots, and Rox is pushed along all the way in this low spot.
Problem for Halo, though, is it's so low on hit points right now. He can't afford to be shot at all. Rocks, though, moving out like he does right there, that's dangerous.
Mako should pick up Rocks here. Spirit takes up Warbander.
Mako's finally spotted, though. And that's great for 07 if they can manage to get some shots on target.
It's a 3v2, though. Arclet stuck here in the back check, getting some distance, trying to open up a new angle, a different approach. Mako's actually takes a shot. He's on fire right now. He's burning down. He should put it out in time, but Arclet knows where he is and gets the kill.
Nicely done,
And Zone
Arclet.
fails to get another penetrating shot. Arclet just playing the hold down off this tank right now. He's playing it well. Another HE shot from Zone.
And now FC Dynamo, that bat chat that was kind of overwatching Arclet's position, is going to decide to move in. He realizes Arclet doesn't really have the opportunity to
And
move much else.
Arclet takes out Zone.
This is how a TD can do work. He just found good cover. Everything from 07 is kind of pinned. Well, everything from F7 is kind of pinned, sorry. I understand for everyone listening out there, it probably sounds really confusing listening to us say F7 and 07. They're such similar names, so apologies for that. We'll try to be a little clearer, I just realized. But 07 with Arclet, about to clutch this. F7 stayed grouped
Now,
up.
Spirit's actually gotten out of here unspotted. Now, he is at 406, so he is just above average. He needs to get the shot off first. He is spotted. NFC Dynamo gets the high enough roll, takes him down.
And that's
A point up on the board.
07 gets the first point. Not bad, 07. Not bad.
I have to credit that more to a misplay from F7, I feel, than... now, don't get me wrong. 07 definitely capitalized on mistakes, but I feel that F7 were a little bit too sloppy with that hold down there.
And I agree. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think what ended up happening in a lot of ways is the guys from 07 actually were well spread out, and everyone from F7 was too clumped up. The Northwest defensive positions, while generally effective, it can't really be the only position that you take, especially with the team size that we have. Because they lost out on all of their control in the ditch.
If I was going to be critical of F7, when Knight was being overmatched, the Batchats got in position to take him down in the middle.
Yeah.
At that point, that meant that they were stuck down in that pocket and they were going to lose that tier 10. They needed to make a play happen then. You cannot afford to let a tier 10 go down for free like that.
Yes.
And they knew that those 113s were in front of them. At that point, that is when they needed to make sure that those tanks die. And they tried to simply play the corner games, let Makos farm. If you see, they just kind of worked this ridge here, and they stayed back. They didn't commit.
Makos did farm this, by the way, for 4,688 damage. But that wasn't enough, because Andy, Knight, and Chase didn't get much out. Because I want to note something, and this feeds into your point more, is players like Andy were getting blocked, and the clumping wasn't as organized from F7, showing a little bit of inexperience with each other. Yeah,
now looking at the damage here, Makos did make that work, though. Once again, being a TD master, 4,700 damage, 1 kill, 120 fantasy points, being outscored by Arclet, and the TD opposite, picking up the 3 kills on 4K damage, 124 fantasy points. Spirit Walker, also an honorable mention there at 70 fantasy points. Second page, Rocks, who hasn't played much at all this season, 2K, no kills, 48 fantasy points. Zoned, firing a lot of HE shells there, only getting 1,200. And then this is where the problem comes in. Chase Potato only getting 2 shots of damage. Knight only getting 2 shots of damage before he goes down. That's no surprise there at Knight. But then Andy Pan's also 2 shots. With all those bat chats comes up, I guess my point is this, is they tried going heavy versus bat chat in a ridgeline game, basically playing the corners there instead of committing with the bat chats, using the burst and the speed. They tried to snipe stuff, and they didn't kill the tanks quickly enough. You let the consistent fire tanks get multiple shots off, like simp with each other. They didn't cause the chaos that I felt they should have in that situation.
Agreed. All right, now as we move on to battle number 2, with 07 1 up over F7. 07 is now on defense. They bring 2 IS7s, 2 5As, a Sturb, 2 bat chats. On the other side, F7 bring 5 5As and 2 bat chats. Speaking to a very focused beginning.
Now remember that I glanced about this earlier during the pre-show or the start of the show. This is a map that F7 have not played all season. This is their first time this season, outside of maybe some scrims, playing on Prokhorovka.
And the reason it's important that you note that is, of course, because experience in a live situation as opposed to practice is invaluable. You're not going to get the same experiences for your players. You're not going to get the same pressure as practice. And because of that, there is something to be said about that.
Loop is spotted. He's getting roasted. He was trying to get to a passive spot.
But a little aggressive.
He's taking a lot of damage, and he's in full reverse now, trying to back up. And now he's finally in a bush.
Don't know if you realize, couldn't blind fire be coming that direction?
No, he was definitely spotted at that point. So.
Yeah. but now he's stopped. And
But look at this.
There's a press moving forward. You've got
The struggle train from 07 pushing down that one line.
Oh, and even Rock's moving up. Look at that. Nice distraction with the IS-7. That's going to draw a lot of attention, drew a little bit of fire even, and actually might cause a few tanks to reposition from F7 so they can try and shoot at Rocks. See this kind of aggression right there? That's going to cause a few people to dip up and over.
Spotted. They know these heavy tanks are here, but they are not stopping. They're pushing straight on through, hoping to find the overmatch loop, and that STRV staying on the high ground to cover Rocks in the middle area. Now they're going to get caught out. These 5As need to start rifling off some shots.
Focus needs to be there. We need to see focus fire onto a single tank. Arclet taking a lot as the lead. He needs one solid shell. There it is from Spirit.
Tries to rotate back. Isn't successful, though. Now major issues pushing straight in. Warbanders being the focus, though. The soft bat shot.
One more.
All these 5As just rifling it off. They take it down. Good focus fire there from F7.
Major issue should be next focus. There he is. 464. At the same time, you see FC Dynamo joining Rocks, another part of the map. This is good for the rest of 07 elsewhere on the map, but right now this is a 4v2 effectively. I don't think Bloop is going to stay as effective at the range he is, and he's going to go down. Not a single tank dead yet for F7. Everyone's still alive. Zoned and Halo are doing just fine. They're about to even move in to support and take down Rocks. Now Fosta is alone. Sneaks one into Chase Potato, but I don't know how well that's going to do for him.
And Halo, full HP Batchat's actually going to come in here behind Fosta, who's hull down, and he's going to start emptying his clip. Similar to what I think we should have seen last game out of F7, getting a little bit more aggressive. Not as aggressive, but getting in behind, using that mobility from the Batchats to break those hold downs instead of trying to snipe Coppolas.
Yep, and there we go. We're just going to see how much Bloop can get off before he goes down. Little blind fire. Bloop actually takes out Chase Potato. Not able to quite see him, but he did know where he was. And now Bloop has... There he is. He's down. All right, so 07's about to drop to F7 on attack. Oh. And because 07 really just made a push that really didn't work out for him. But I don't blame him. It was the play. It was a little bold, you could say, but...
It was a blind push. It was hoping to catch maybe F7 out of rotation, maybe having their heavy split even though they didn't have the intel.
Maybe early in the strat before they got a chance to kind of reconnoiter the area.
Well, if you remember the strat from last round with the 263 and the Batchats over on the 0 line, say that push had come out with tanks all the way over on the other side of the map, they wouldn't have been able to respond. That would have been a guaranteed overmatch for 07. It's a risk, it's a gamble, but sometimes you have to throw those out there to see what happens. It can pay off in spades if you're lucky. So,
yeah,
you know, it just didn't work out at this point for them.
Focus Fire, though. That was an excellent match for Focus Fire. Yep. What you got to see was 4 or 5As just stack up and focus a tank out one at a time. And you saw how that consistent fire can work out, how a small team can work together. And I'm glad we got to see that because very rarely do you get to see the lesson in such a straightforward situation. You have an attacking force of 4, well, 5 if you count the support, against a group of 4 5As. Those 4 5As, because they're able to consistently fire, were able to destroy every single tank before it was able to reach the front of their line.
Yep. Now look at the Amateur Knight putting up good, solid, almost 3K, 2 kills, 75 fantasy points. And then Rocks coming in there in their 2,760. Anti-Pans Makos also doing decent in those 5As, along with Spirit Walker. Fosta, another 2,301 kill, zoned in the Batchat, 2K, 48 fantasy points, not bad there.
Yeah, moving on to page number 2. You can see Bloop in that 103B, not able to get as much damage as he wanted. That's, I think, due to range mostly, more than anything else, and the position of the
And FC Dynamo also struggling there.
Yeah,
not getting any damage.
That hurts when you don't get any damage off.
Especially in a Batchat.
Yeah, Batchats of all things. But from time to time, it'll happen. So there you go. But it does tend to be telling when you end up losing a battle when someone does no damage. You're like, oh, okay, well, that's one of the factors. Kind of hard to avoid.
And I will give my hats off to F7 in that game just for the focus fire. Their echelon with their 5As was solid. They picked targets. You could clearly tell that they were, they called that one tank. They made sure they focused him down before he could rotate out. So, it was a good pick there onto Arclet to start. And once that kind of momentum starts and you get that extra gun lead in those sort of back and forth brawls, it can really snowball. And at that point, they were close together. They could echelon, they could cycle HP. And at that point, 07 were just kind of stuck up a river.
That they were. No paddles in sight. And as we move on to a map with no water in sight, Ghost Town, Fosta in the 113, 250Bs, 2 Mouse, and 2 5As for 07, a full heavy lineup. On the other side, F7 will be bringing 2 113s, 2 50Bs, a single Mouse, a single Type 5, and a Bat Chat played by Halo.
What's so weird seeing Mako's on F7. I had to do a double take there for a second.
No, this is throwing me off. It's going to throw me off all night. It's the same thing with seeing like Bloop, because there's always like these single players I look for to quickly glance at one roster or another and go, oh, if I'm not, if I'm not already looking at the logo and know that on red team is 07, and I glance over and I see Bloop, I use that as context for my calls. I'm having to stop myself from saying the wrong team a few times.
Yep. And Makos, you have to remember, Makos has been on 07 for a while, so it's not like he's a recent addition. Like Andy Pan's only joined last season. Makos has been on there for, I believe, 3 or 4 seasons now, so definitely a little bit of a mind game. Now looking at this opening play from F7, Batchat making a very aggressive scout run. I'm assuming that is Halo, Yep,
nothing seen though. He finds nothing. Although
and that is because all the tanks from 07 are on the other side of the map.
Ah, that would make sense. Well, because of that, he's going to loop out and hit the south. Now notice that there's 50B Mouse 113 on the south side for F7. So this defense, if it runs up against the traditional attack that we'll see a lot of the time, the response is going to be pretty slow from F7. So right now, if 07 decided to aggress onto the 1 cap and then brought in support, they would be able to probably take this, would be my expectation. But we will have to see, because it looks like buildings are being taken down on the cap.
Arclet moving in across that courtyard. 50B's looking for some covering shots along with major issues. Spirit Walker playing the hold down up in the north. And are we seeing a 50B do the climb in the north?
What?
Yeah. Huh? Andy Pence.
Oh, okay. Andy, what you doing? I didn't even, I've never tried that.
Apparently a 50B can do the climb, and that is going to be a wrench into the 07 game, provided they don't know about that. Because typically you look for a tank that's designed just for the boost. Recently it's been the Leopard. It's the main tank we've seen doing it.
And that's what I thought when I saw Meadowhawk on the roster. I was like, oh, Meadow will bring a Leo and he'll hop up there. But 50B this time. Now check this out. Arclet's gotten himself spotted. And that's actually a huge tell and has allowed F7 to bring its tanks from the south back north. And because of that, that whole 1 cap option might be gone now. Especially because there's a 50B up there. That, if that didn't help. Same time, it does look like 113 Fosta is going to move up and start putting pressure on the cap. So you know what angle that's coming from. Arclet's actually not at a bad angle to bounce this. He adjusts actually a little bit, and that should make it easier. Same time, Fosta is on cap, and this is awesome for 07. They'll begin putting that pressure on. Arclet's being a nice distraction. He's wasted a lot of shells from Andy.
All right, let's go ahead and listen into F7 to see how they handle this cap pressure from 07.
They only have 1 on cap, so they're going to do a more spread cap.
Yeah, they're going to have, like, maybe a nerd here, maybe even here.
So if we light the 1 cap... Yeah.
It's for sure he's not here, or not on these buildings, so he's going to be on cap, like, right there. So this is have Andy blind fire.
They can definitely put a second one on.
If I'm on a blind fire, I'd rather just kill Arclet. Can we not light it?
I don't think we can light it.
But I cannot light it.
Halo on cap, Halo on cap. I mean on boost.
What?
Boost,
Okay.
boost.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, then I'm gonna come back up here.
Alright, I'm blind.
I cannot pen that, dude. Bullshit. Arclet steering, Arclet fired. They're firing at, trying to hit blind fire and Makos or anything else now. Fucking next to impossible.
Explain what
spotted by
you
the
can use
boost.
and we can't light him.
We can't light him, Andy.
Mouse
You're gonna have to blind fire.
shouldn't light. I thought Halo was going up though.
Yeah, he is going up.
We'll have time.
I'm spotted, I can't. Mouse spotted him.
It's fine. Just blind fire it, Andy.
Could you just go to this corner, Chase?
Yeah, I can.
We need a better plan now.
You gotta cover me though.
Spot. We need spot.
Do I need to do that? Because I'm that's
No,
the last
no.
They're gonna put another tank on.
Reset,
oh my
reset,
god,
guys.
nice.
I got it.
We gotta reset, we gotta reset.
Set the brake shit. It's easier now.
Yeah, I need to go do so. I'm going south. I can't.
Go south, just go south.
I can stay. You want me to stay north now?
999, cover this cross because they're gonna push me.
Yeah, I will. Halo, come here.
Yes.
Come by me.
Where do you want me, in this side or this side?
Can you come and help this out?
Yes, I can.
Flank-
I can
flank
come over
maybe?
here. Yes, I can come into that corner with the mouse.
I'm actually gonna die here.
Fuck.
Knight, can you come in?
Dude, they're just gonna push around.
Faster 2 shot.
I survive. They're just gonna push into here. If we can get the Bat Chat and the 50B just watching this.
Bat Chat on the side. 50B on the.
They're off cap. They're off cap.
They're off cap.
How can I not pin this mouse aside?
Yeah, I have shots. For some reason, I thought I did.
Okay, if you can, get out. 50B, get out. 50B, get out. Bat Chat, just do a flanking fire.
Just started clipping.
It's 2 cap now. It's 2 cap.
Get off. Andy, get off and help out. Nice. 113, just come back in. 113, just come back.
I am.
Just
I'm
play hold
gonna
down.
shoot there. 113. Hold on.
Okay, 50B's out.
Where do I need to come? Can I kill Fosta?
If you can, or just play it safe because they have this 50B there.
Just watch me if they push. They're gonna push me. It looks like.
I know. No,
Yeah, go get Fosta if you can. These 2 guys just go get Fosta.
Yeah.
Right.
No, play close to the ridge. Play close to
I'm
the
actually
ramp.
just getting back.
Oh, that's 50B.
Okay, yeah, I can't.
It's fine. I'll watch 50B. Okay, I'm praying.
Go, let's get Fosta out. One more.
I'm ammo racked, so you need to hit this shot. Be behind me.
We need to kill that Wheezy.
I can just.
Yeah, I'm gonna go kill him.
Big Wheezy. Oh.
I only have 2 left.
Nah, I'm gonna finish him.
Knight, go in. Knight, you gotta go in. Knight,
Yeah,
you gotta go in.
I'm pushing
Going
right now. Watch out, Meadow and. Okay, yeah.
Nice.
I have
Meadowhawk?
1.
Andy, just use your shot on Meadow.
He's burning.
Nice.
He's burning.
I have a broken turret.
Still need that. You're still.
Okay, focus major issues now. Nice. Major issues.
No shots.
50B.
50B?
I'm gonna die.
I can counter clip this
I'm dead,
50B.
I'm
I
dead.
can counter clip this guy.
You should then, Halo. I think.
Yeah, we just need to kill the 50B now. Yeah, Halo.
No, you need to drive it major.
I'm
Drive it major.
pushing in. No, I was gonna kill the 50B.
Oh, Halo can get the.
No, he.
Don't go in, Halo.
You can't full clip him, but you can do a lot.
Yeah, that's
You can do a
fine.
lot.
I'll be there in 10 seconds. I'll be able to get a clip into him too. I'm just following.
He's just crossing. Okay.
Oh shit.
Sorry, Halo.
Sorry, Echo. I have 1 left.
Echo, they're both one. He's a one shot, and the other guy's a
What's
high
the other
roll.
50B? Yeah, 50B's
One
both
shot.
165 or something.
Okay, hey,
Allison, Halo,
don't. Let me come down.
Yeah, zone, don't go in.
You want me to clip?
Yeah, just flip it. I'm out the east.
Major's crossing back. I think.
I'm just gonna hold.
They're
gonna
gonna
push
try to
him.
get back out this way. So just.
Nice shot.
I should be able to
Nice.
get a take. If he crosses this, I'll kill him.
They're
Okay,
all
so
one shots except
Just
the
chill.
one
No,
guy who's
just
490.
chill. Just chill. Yeah.
Just follow me.
Wait for Halo to reload.
Oh no, I didn't clip.
Oh, but you only have 1.
Yeah, I know, but
They're
Yeah,
all
I
one
know.
shots except for the one guy who's got 500.
we want to just push.
Yeah. Knight, just push.
I'm
Okay.
balling Knight in.
As long as I hit his
Nice.
shot, it's an easy push.
Got
Just
him,
going.
Knight.
Let Halo get the kill.
I'm clipping now. I'm clipping now. Echo.
Ram,
blocking for you.
Ram.
The cleanup.
I did ram.
The cleanup crew.
GG. All right. Sounds like F7 was having a fun time with that one.
Yeah, seemed like
Yeah.
they're gelling decently. Seeing something we hadn't seen before. 50B doing the climb up there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was something stolen from other regions or if that was just something they figured out on their own that they could do.
I wouldn't doubt it's been seen somewhere before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But looking at the post game, Knight did a phenomenal job. Puts up a 4K in a mouse. It's too bad overall, just because it looked for a moment like 07 was doing just fine.
They were in it just to start until the cap resets came through. Once Fosta got
That
reset.
blind shot from Andy,
Yep.
that was, by the way, blind. That was
Yep.
he had no idea that tank was there, or he hadn't context clues, but he couldn't see, and
Yep.
so he
Well, and if you
targeted
If
perfectly.
you look at his stats, 21 shots fired in a 50B. That
Yeah.
is more shots than most people get off in an entire match.
You have to be trying to put
Yeah.
out that volume of fire.
Yeah,
Usually.
12 hits for 8 pens, so he may have also gotten a couple shots that hit there that just didn't reset, which would have led to additional confusion.
Well, I watched when he was putting those out. He systematically took down 2 buildings in front of the capper. Put one out that actually bounced off a turret, and then the second one managed to go low enough to the point where it was a pen.
Yep, Knight, top fantasy point scorer as well as top damage there, 4K, 73 fantasy points. Andy Pans in the 50B, another 2,900, 3 kills and 70 fantasy points. Warbandor, FC Dynamo, and Major Issues all having pretty decent games for 07, but just not enough there at the end. On the second page there, honorable mention, all the way down at the bottom, Spirit Walker, not really able to get into the fight, 1,400 damage. He tried to get a few resets and lights, but just got kind of put into a difficult position to play, and only got 23 23 fantasy points, and Arclet actually somehow got 60 despite only doing 1,200 damage.
That would be for a few different reasons. I think spotting and also damage blocked would have been a factor because of where he was. A lot of those shells that were fired by our 50Bs that didn't seem to pen or hit anything, right onto him.
Yep. Now teams will switch sides. It is 2-1 in favor of F7. Lineups coming in: a Mouse, 3 T57s, 2 5As, and a Leopard 1 from Meadowhawk. Like we were talking about last game. F7 on the other hand, 3 Mice, a 57, 2 5As, and a Bat Chat.
There we go. I was wondering when we'd see that. But
3 T57s on defense.
Yeah, that's the strange thing for me too,
That's
James.
Kind of scary almost. You know, we talked a lot about 2, but bringing 3.
It depends on how they're going to roll them out, because I see 2 of them moving together. I see FC Dynamo and Arclet.
57s, in my opinion, you can play them passively as long as there's tanks near them. They cannot play passively by themselves.
Here's my thought, and follow me. I'm not saying it's necessarily a great idea, or it isn't, but bringing a T57 as a complement, like 1 T57 to 1 5A, or 1 T57 to a Mouse, and what they do is they place a little closer together. In this case, it doesn't seem to be exactly the concept, but in a way, I see how it can work out. You've got Arclet and FC Dynamo with a consistent fire tank nearby, so if you do want to just shoot something and destroy it, you've got options.
Yep, and the Mice for F7 actually trying to blind fire the climb, trying to find Meadowhawk. They kind of know where that Leopard 1 is most likely going to be. So they're just trying to rifle some shots off, but so far they've not gotten any connections.
Yeah, he's in a bit more of an obscure position, not the most common. He's brought plenty of HE shells as well. Good job, Meadow. Although you gotta watch out. That's a slippery little slope right there, as the Leo just kind of slips on down. There we go. Now is he going to... Oh no. Wee. Sorry, this is fun to watch always. Just when you're a medium and you're just like, I just want to sit on that one perfect spot. But then it happens that...
And look at this aggression from F7. They've pushed all the way around in the south, and until that 5A just got spotted, they hadn't had any of their tanks lit. There is the Bat Chat is zoned all the way over on that 0 line that is going to find them. And looking at this lineup from 07, they don't really have anything to go counter him out except for that Leopard.
Wow. And first little bits of the engagement, FC Dynamo and Arclet taking some fire. Do they really have the support that they need to make this happen? Or
no, Zoned is just getting a lot of free shots onto Arclet. And so far, Arclet hasn't landed a single one in return.
Oh, and there we go. Looks like, yep, Meadow was able to get a reset onto Chase Potato. He'll be able to throw one onto Halo as well in just a moment without too many issues. Gotta love those long-range heat shells. But one of them gets caught by cover. That's elsewhere on the map, though. As right now, the rest of F07 are trying right now to make their way around the southern bend while this hold on cap happens. And, well, Meadow is doing an excellent job. Because of that, looks like F7 is going to abandon the entire endeavor, giving Meadowhawk a free 1,171 damage. Even puts out a little blind fire at the end of it and gets connection onto Halo. I mean, what more could you ask for? As look at the hit points, James. Still F7 in the lead there, but in part, I think, due to the T57 choice. But not bad as far as damage dealt so far. 07's holding their own in a way.
Yeah, 57s have regrouped with the rest of the tanks back up in the north, except for FC Dynamo, who they left in the south, or Arclet, excuse me. And he's just trying to work this off angle towards Spirit. FC Dynamo with Bloop now in the north and Warbander. At this point, if you're F7 and you're trying to climb to this, you need to try to find some sort of overmatch or some way to let your 57s get a good, solid clip off. Right now, they're just kind of playing the trade game, and because they're down so much HP already, if they keep up this rate, they'll just end up losing it in another couple of minutes.
Yes, they will. That's going to be the challenge. Now, 07, if they can keep wasting time, I don't know if that's exactly an option for them, is it?
I mean, they've gotten the resets on cap. They can try, but they're actively trading. If you're trying to waste time like that, you really don't want to be too engaged if you can avoid it.
All right, and then Meadow actually left his hill.
Speaking of engagements, we get the push coming out here from the tanks of 07, trying to find the overmatch onto Makos.
And it looks like even some shots singing in from awkward angles. I love seeing Meadowhawk trying to make stuff happen like that. But unfortunately, it looks like there's pressure coming back from Chase Potato, moving towards that one cap. Looks like pressure is going to come back for F7 after they've gotten Meadow off his hill. At the same time, whoa, in the south with Zoned. What's going on down there? You've got a 1v1. Foster's been caught out by Zoned. At the same time, there's this major fight. And because of that, looks like Zoned is just barely not able to get the kill. He's going to have to leave. But let's check out the main fight elsewhere on the map, as we have the large squad of F7 with 5 tanks up against, looks like only 4. Arclet has moved in behind, and he's managed to kill Spirit Walker. He's actually quite vulnerable, but in a way, that was excellent. Now he's going to be able to retreat. FC Dynamo is moving in and to kind of bait out. Halo gets a little too aggressive, and, well, FC is going to miss that first shell, but that'll work out. Not the greatest trade right there. At the same time, Warbender, Bloop, and Major kind of held their positions. I don't know if I agree with that. That could have been a mistake.
No, Arclet's coming around, and Halo's trying to back off. And Arclet should be able to get a solid clip off here and take out Halo. One more shot. He's trying to dive for cover. And Arclet just only shot. Actually takes a shot from Zone in the background.
Now that Batchat's finally reloaded. Gotta watch out your angles.
And now Makos is coming around. Makos
and there's a
is
lack of
also
action
one shot.
Lack of action from the rest of 07. You need to see those tanks moving in. You see the major issues.
Arclet misses, and Chase Potato makes short work of Arclet.
Yeah, those 5As needed to be doing work. They weren't. That's the problem here.
But the HP has gotten even again.
Yeah, this could have been a lot better for 07 at this point. F7 could have also made some better choices here and there, but I'm looking at this from the perspective of that was glaring. Lack of action from 07 when they had.
Now Zone is a one-shot. He has to do this before Fuss is reloaded, and he won't. And now 07 are in the driver's seat of this game.
They have control. They should be able to do this. Mako's playing excellently, understanding how to use actually low ground to his advantage in some ways here. 5As don't exactly have great gun depression, do they?
Well, they're better than the 113.
I mean,
they're
better
average.
than the 113 is like saying better than not having shoes, you know? Like.
Okay, that's fair. I won't argue that one. Now, Makos in the background there, just kind of trying to stay alive, lurking, get into a new position, and Handypans and Knight are both going to back off. FC Dynamo poking around trying to spot them. Those are lit, but doesn't have a shot on them yet.
What's going to be the move? Wow, Handypans and Knight, they've gotten all the way out without getting spotted, detected much at all. 07's lack of action might really come and bite them here. Although with Knight and Andy are finally being spotted, that does give us some options. Chase taking fire from FC Dynamo. One connection for 404. Second one gonna get the kill.
Nice shot there from FC Dynamo onto the hatch of Chase Potato. Yes. Takes him down, and 07 just need 3 more kills to tie the series up 2-2.
Not bad. Oh no, Major's taking fire. Looks like he managed to get himself chunked down. Did not connect with Makos. Now we'll see, can you find a window shot? Looks like Knight's gonna find the window shot. And he takes down Major through a tiny gap. Nicely done. There we go, Warbender getting revenge onto Makos. Finally a little bit of motion out of 07 that we were waiting for. And Bloop is moving around as he's reloaded with Meadow in wide support. This should be ready for 07 to clean things up. But these are 2 mice, which played correctly can do some work. However, it's over. There it is. That's it. And there it is, tying up the series. 07 putting another point on the board, so it is now 2-2. James.
Yeah, they tied that up. Didn't see it coming, but you know, yeah. F7 just got a little bit complacent.
They lacked decisive action.
They didn't kind of know how to respond to that push coming around on the south. And once they saw the bat shots down there, Zone got some damage off. But after that, they really weren't sure what they wanted to do and how they wanted to go about it.
It seemed very much like F7 was doing the kind of strategy where you have an opening play, and then the whole plan after that is whatever seems reasonable, right?
Yeah.
And whenever a curveball kind of comes in, and you haven't seen anything quite like that before, that's the one place where those try to really fall apart, because then it depends entirely on the caller's ability to assess the situation and make the correct choice. Wow, Andy got through that entire battle without dealing any damage. He lived till the end.
Yep, and you know, Zone though, on that same team, look at the damage that he put up here. 5,500 damage. That's going to be one of the highest we've seen all season.
Yeah, in a bat chat, of course, too.
In a bat chat on Ghost Town, 135 fantasy points. But then FC Dynamo, Meadowhawk, Arclet, and Warbender all running it up for 07, all doing pretty decent there. And then Knight and Halo on the second page. And then second page, Spirit Walker not having a strong night so far. Had a good opening game, it's a decent second game, but Ghost Town has not been his map.
No, it hasn't. but I really do need to kind of point that. I don't want to, you know, hurt your feelings, Andy, but like that can't happen. You have to deal some damage.
Especially in a mouse. You got 3,000 HP. No matter how good the focus fire is on the other team, in a mouse, if you unless you get ammo racked, you should get off, 1 or 2 shots at the bare minimum if you are the main tank that gets focused on a push or you're the first one in.
How it takes you 3 connected shells in a mouse to deal over 1,000 damage.
Well, 2 if you high roll enough.
Exactly.
I mean, 490 alpha, it's not that far off from 500.
I say 3 because on average, right? Because you're gonna low roll here or there. I want to hit that at least minimum 1,000, and 1,000 damage is usually considered reasonable to deal.
Now,
with
if he was put in a spot like we've seen on, say, Himmelsdorf or Ruinberg, where it's just, turn him sideways on cap, park the tank down him, sure, that's fine. You're giving him up. We understand that, not doing damage. But he was alive with the rest of his team in those courtyards and not able to be effective that game, which, you gotta question it. Now, we are going to move on. No, sorry, we are going to move on to game number 5, and that is going to be Sand River.
Yes. Sand River. Plenty of bat chats, plenty of 5As, IS-7s, maybe a pattern or 2. Rarely will we see an artillery. But one day.
Yep, now we are going to see a T100 come out, which
I'm looking forward to that buff. Oh, no.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Oh, really?
Saw the main World Tanks page. We get a patch coming tomorrow with a lot of balancing changes, including hiring the DPM on the T100. So we're going to make it a little bit more viable. Now, looking at the lineup, so 7 3 5As, 3 bat jets, and that T100 we were just talking about. F7, 113, an IS-7, a 5A, 2 bat chats, and 2 Object 140s.
And then we'll have to see where Foster goes in this opening run, as 07 will be on attack.
Yeah, and looking at it, one of everything pretty much for F7 as far as heavy tanks goes. The 113 has the mobility over the other 2. 5A has the same alpha as the IS-7. IS-7 has the best armor.
5A's got a nice gun, though.
Nice gun and good gun depression. It has input. The other benefit is it has heat shells. On this map, it doesn't matter as much because you're not going up versus mouses normally, but it is still nice to have those at your disposal. Some people really don't like heat shells just because you have to struggle with objects getting in the way of your heat shells, spaced armor, and all that sort of nonsense. But when it comes
spotting.
Look at this opening push from 07 pushing straight up the middle. Right behind Blue, the 3 5As just coming right out, and they all will be spotted, but no one is really in position to deal any damage except for, looks like, no, Paylo's not even in an angle. He's down in the village over there.
Yeah, but that is a lot of info. That is quite a lot of info, actually, and very useful for F7, because with that, they know exactly where the main push is. They've got an idea of where all but 2 tanks, that's a bat chat and a T100 are.
Yep, and Andy Pans is actually in the low ground. Now, he doesn't have a shot yet. However, he needs to be careful he does not get caught out. He's just going to go for it. He's going to push across. Now, I disagree with this wholeheartedly. He gets tracked out in the open, uses his repair kit. Only has the 1, takes another shot to his side from Blue. And now he's going to be in that hold down. Now, we've seen tanks do this. Normally, it turns into a death by paper cuts. They just load up a whole lot of HE. We'll have to see how he can make it work.
And is that a full pen, actually?
Full pen on the cupola.
He's actually in the wrong spot, isn't he? He's supposed to be a little higher up.
He's in a decent
spot. And to his right?
It would...
There we go.
Yeah, he's corrected now, but it's still not perfect. There's actually a second hill down the one he's looking at right now.
Yeah,
gives him a bit more cover. However,
it's also more elevated.
But he also loses his shots on the tanks, so it's kind of a tricky situation. He doesn't necessarily need to be trading right now, but now he's stuck.
Yeah, and there we go. Mako's and zoned, firing off onto what I guess was FC Dynamo's position. And that would have been over mid-map, but he's not spotted anymore. Foss and the T100 gets spotted. Warbander is now spotted, moving up the A line on the far north. He's actually going to try and perhaps find Andy or Spirit Walker and Chase Potato. As the hit squad from F7, these 3 tanks you see on screen right now are getting ready to deal with something in the south. The whole point of that is to defend against that wall and then loop back up north. Hopefully your 07 hasn't gotten their stuff together and hasn't attacked. Ooh, nice bounce from Warbander. He's actually going to bounce a shell.
Bounce chat, still ringing true.
Hey, nice slope on the front there. You go uphill at someone, yeah, you're going to catch something on the front plate. It's going to just bounce off like water, just like skipping stones. And then the squad here in the mid, Oh, that's Knight taking fire, it looks like. Where from? Oh, that's from Fosta. Fosta sniping out the T100 downtown. You can actually see Batchat's on the way, zoned and Halo on the way to intercept.
They're now spotted, so he knows that at least zoned is coming down for him. And Bloop is not really in a position to cover him right now. Halo almost flipping there. A little bit fortunate not to.
That would have been an interesting way to turn things around, to just flip over.
Now Zone should spot him. Now they need to make quick work of him before he gets over that dune.
Ooh.
Zone takes a shot from Bloop in that middle ridge.
Nicely
now he's
done.
lining up the shots.
Fosta's teasing them a little bit.
Takes
Actually,
one.
Fosta, don't stop, don't stop. He decided that he wanted to just stop for a moment. I don't know if I like that, actually. Fosta's gonna go up and over. That's one way to do it.
He's spotted again. No, he's going to get out.
But now that he's crossed the ridge, it's a lot harder to chase because he's not in the same trench. He gets to cross back into the main trench where he's safer, and then he can now just spot back. However, he's going up while spotted. That's a bit risky, a bit telling even. You're kind of telegraphing to your opponent that you want them to kind of see you.
And the push is actually coming out of
They're leaving.
F7 in the middle, or 07. They're trying to push around onto
Knight.
that
Right.
I7.
Onto Knight right now, and he's going to start trying to defend as best he can. At the same time, Warbander moves onto Antipans in the mountains, trying to take advantage of that situation there.
Knight's still alive, has the kill onto one, and Major Issue should pick it up. Actually, it's going to be Arclet. And now the Batchat's going to start getting in here in the south, no longer chasing that T100, and they're getting a good clip onto Major Issues, and they punish him and take him down. Arclet being the next one focused out in the distance. And now these Batchats are going to be out on reloads. So this is going to be the last chance for 07 to get in here while these Batchats are reloading, and they're taking the high ground right now. Now the key note here, though, is there's actually two 140s in the side of F7, so they're not completely reloaded right now. They're not defenseless like we see sometimes. Batchats fire all their shots, and they have to all reload at the same time, and then the other team just pushes in and just capitalizes on the fact that they don't have shells.
Yep.
Not the case this time, though.
Warbander's able to get away and start his reload. Same time, looks like Bloop's going to try to get out as well. And 07's going to have to regroup and figure out what exactly they need to do next. They've got a high mobility group left. They don't have heavies, but they can at least try some hit and run tactics. James, the options, though, are pretty thin.
Yeah, definitely. Now, F7 are in control right now. They are the defending team. Remember that. They don't have to do anything. They got 4 minutes on their side. As long as one tank is alive at the end of it, they're fine. Now, if I was them, I would probably put the priority on making sure that you got Fosta down in the south, if you can spot him again. Now, I don't know that they know that he's repushed exactly this far down there, though.
The problem with dealing with Fosta, though, is on Sand River, with the way hills are.
He can be so squirrely and hard to kill.
Exactly. He could bait you straight into the wrong place, and you'd be there at the wrong time and go down. And that would be ideal for 07. So 07 wants stuff like that to happen. They want Fosta to play a dangerous game and just kind of flirt with the opponent and say, hey, come on, maybe you can put a shell into me. You just have to peek up a little more than you're comfortable with.
Yep, no, I will have to say good response there from F7. They could have easily gotten distracted or overcommitted to killing Fosta in the south there earlier, but understood that they were vulnerable. When 07 made that push into the middle ridge, everyone responded well. The heavy tanks backed up into the pocket, got together. Batchats opened up that second angle and were able to cover them. So it's overall just a solid play from F7.
That it was. And now they've just kind of restarted their line. Oh, Fosta starting a cap. Now that's something to kind of watch out for. What's the response there from F7? Now their response, if they do it very, very safely, if 07 can manage to set up the right crossfire, they should be able to handle this, James. If they don't, though, I mean 07.
Nice
Let's
reset there onto the T100 comes in. That was blind too. Fosta not spotted.
Nicely done. Fosta's actually going to leave at this time. Jump over to him for a second. He's going to move forward. Good idea. Recognizing that, yes, closer to the hill is actually safer in some ways because he can just drive forward and off and just go off into a... Let me use the mini-map. You can just go off into the forward instead of trying to back up. It's better that way. Because if you're taking fire like this, you just want to be in a little pocket right there.
Now, cap pressure is going to start to build up here for F7. Or 07, excuse me. It's not going to be the last time I get that wrong tonight.
Huh.
Now, F7 on the other hand, once again, 2 minutes on the clock. They just need to get a reset or two, slow it down. Only real weakness at this point, provided they can't find a reset, is going to be a second tank jumping onto cap here soon and really speeding this up and making them need to respond sooner. However, Halo and Makos are already in a decent position to get the lights or emergency, YOLO light, if you will, if need be.
Nice moves, nice moves. Fosta shifting on cap, recognizing that the blind fire is coming in a pattern, and avoids it. Because of that, Spirit Walker and Chase Potato managed to miss. Actually, they probably would have even gotten the blind shot one more time given the opportunity. And that's going to mean Chase Potato moving down. Fosta gets spotted. He knows that shot's coming in. Oh, there it is. Connection for 300. He's off cap. So now it's up to 07 to get the kills. They've got a minute 16 and they've got to deal 6k damage.
Good shot there from Makos.
I think that that accentuated the point.
Makos taking down his former captain and then putting one into Bloop.
SC Dynamo just waiting for reload. He's got 10 seconds left. Looks like Warbander's just kind of waiting. I don't know what for.
Come on, just go in there, Spirit. Give me those fantasy points. Just go kill Warbander. Come on.
Halo's gonna put one shell in. I think they don't want to play this too risky. Ah, there it is.
Makos getting the kill, yep.
Good job, Makos. FC Dynamo going down.
Chase Potato kills FC Dynamo.
Bloop is last. Let's see, who's got the shot? Who's got the spot, actually?
No one does. 25 seconds left. Chase is just going in there. Spirit might get up on that ridge, but someone else is going to have to light for him.
Nah, but he's in the trench now. He's safe until he tries to cross, maybe.
Well, he doesn't need to. I don't think he realizes that.
Yeah, but it's over anyway. 07 will lose no matter what here. There it is. That's the timer.
That is going to make it 3-2 in favor of F7.
Yep.
Pretty standard stuff there, but good response, good rotations from F7. They played it, I don't want to say textbook, but pretty close to it. Just did what they needed to do, got the win, ran the clock down, got the resets when they needed to. And
probably felt a bit weird to defend that time. 07 brought an okay strat, but it did end up... things kind of played out awkwardly, it felt like. Like the entire time, it felt like the pacing for 07 was not unfamiliar, maybe, or
awkward.
I said awkward before. I was hoping to find a synonym that might better suit the situation, but maybe you guys tell us on Twitter at WGLNA using the hashtag WGLNA.
Yeah, I think just awkward is just the best. I mean, that's how I feel about it. It was just the way it kind of played out. They got the aggression early on, and then they were able to kill the heavy tanks, but then the Batchets just got out and ran away, and then they tried to come up with a second plan. Now, hats off to 07 for being able to regroup and not just kind of falling apart, and came up with a solid new game plan they tried to execute. They did what they could. However, it was just at that point they just bled so much HP, they didn't have any heavy tanks left, and F7 were just in such a strong position. And once again, we've said it before, a lot of the maps right now in the league definitely have some defensive biases, but Sand River, I think, is definitely probably the heaviest slope towards the defensive side, regardless of who's playing right now.
Maybe. In some ways, yes. The thing about Sand River that that players haven't quite solved, as it were, is how to properly break the map. Because Sand River has always been a map where if you step by step take control of certain little things, you should be able to come out ahead in the majority of situations. The thing is, it's the way the map is designed. You see the terrain, right? It's very fluid in some ways, sandy. And because of that, there's these tiny little nuances that you have to get used to. Until a few more seasons of this map come out, the meta will need time to evolve here, because that's what it's going to be. We haven't seen as many Blitz South strats, for example. We haven't seen full-on all 7 players go south, and that's a viable option for people. You just have to know how to make that work, right?
Right.
But I'll let that point rest there. You guys think about that at home and tell us what you think.
Yep, top 4 damage dealers all belonging to F7. And then a couple people from 07 rounding it up on the second page here. Kind of says a lot with the looking at the damage from the 5A, the 113, and the other 5A from 07. Really just not really able to get much damage off. Knight and the IS-7 only getting 1,200. Between both of them, that is, both teams. The heavy tanks not really being able to be effective. They just kind of went in. It was really the faster medium tanks that were able to do a lot of the heavy lifting that game.
Yeah, and that'll happen on Sand River. Heavies will end up generally pinning things down while the mediums make things happen. Sometimes you'll get plenty of damage, but this time we're going to switch sides. 07 will be defending, F7 attacking. Arclet in the IS-7, 2 5As, 3 Batchats, and Bloop in the Object 140. F7 will bring 3 5As, 2 Batchats, and Object 140, and Chase Potato will play the T100.
Yeah, so for a couple weeks, we were seeing the AMX 13-105 come in for the cap pressure tank on this map, being a little bit narrower, kind of easier to hide, smaller silhouette, but
a little taller, right?
A little bit taller, but more narrow, so you can kind of hide it, be harder to hit from facing certain directions. However, teams seem to feel that the T100 is the better fit because you can fit it on the low side of cap, and it's very minimally exposed. However,
it's a little bit more, it feels more comfortable in combat.
Yep.
Because the 3 shots that you got in the 105.
Yeah, that's kind of just the overall feeling a lot of people have about that 105 is it's kind of just a bad Batchat.
It's too skirmishy in a way that doesn't feel right, because you won't join a proper fight most of the time. It needs a certain play. You need to join with those 3 shells with another
thrives
Batchat.
in kind of like hit and run / like guerrilla type warfare, where it's kind of go in, find a few shots, and then just drive away. Not even enough to really clip anyone out all the way.
But the thing is, you could accomplish much of that with the T100, and the T100 in many ways is objectively better.
And faster, quicker, gets around.
I think it's a better silhouette than the 105. I think so.
It's shorter. It's not as tall.
Yeah, and that plays a lot.
Now look at this aggression from 07. Batchats pushing all the way in the south. They are getting around here, and they may find Chase Potato.
These are the kind of plays you want. See those 5As in the middle of the map right now? They're going to be kind of a pinning force. We're just going to see them put pressure this way. Meantime, Batchats come on up, and everything, well, ideally this T100 dies. If not, well, that's because some bad things got spotted, so now...
Yeah, the Batchats are spotted, and they're trying to leave, and actually no damage is going to find the 5A or the T100
could
as they
find
leave.
Something on the cross for the T100, but they need to spot him. I think spotting range is about right there. White line you just saw. Well, that 5A could take some shells.
Batchat's going to get in behind. They're going to start unloading some shots, but they haven't found any connections yet. And 3 tanks on cap in the north, and 07 are not in position to deal with it.
And looks like we're going to go to a listen and see what 07's saying in this last few seconds of defense, see if they have any options.
Shot.
It's Nigel. And 2 tanks. They have 2 tanks. I'm rear clipping.
I didn't reset. Fuck.
Oh, you fucking got it.
Well, yeah, that's what happens. Like, you lost control.
Because he puts you down in his house.
We thought we might catch something there at the end with that listening, but looks like the shell didn't come in a fraction of a second too late.
Yeah, and I want to share the thoughts of pretty much everyone playing our fantasy league right there. Is just going to be a giant.
Ouch. Okay, so
no one died. A
Not
grand
a whole lot of
total of
damage.
2,000 damage between both teams that game.
Ow. Okay, wow, FC Dynamo, Major Issues, Fosta, Metalhawk, Arclet, you're all going on the list. You got no damage that battle. Same with Halo, Spirit Walker, and Andy. The only people who did it were Bloop.
Hey, but if you're Halo, Spirit, and Andy, at least you get cap points for fantasy.
How many cap points did they get?
Let's see here, 38, 38, and 24.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that's...
Yay!
Woo! I wish we had a pathetic amount of streamers or something to let get down right now, just to have an underwhelming celebration.
As many people call it, purple points.
Yay!
Get those purple points, guys. Oh man!
So
man.
With that, scores 4-2.
I like what 07 were going for there. The problem was a few things were wrong. You kind of have to move those heavy tanks around before the mediums can get around in the south, but then it's kind of a risky crossfire, but it's the gamble you have to pay to make that sort of strat work, I feel.
Yeah, 07 left an opening, and F7 took advantage. So that's what happens. That was pretty much that. They left an opening. It was a risk. Most teams wouldn't take an early cap like that on Sand River right now, but F7 read the situation, said, you know what, let's do it, and they did. And so it ends up working out this time. The stats were about the most interesting stats in any post-game ever.
That was almost as bad as I think it was the Aquatic M60s versus Apex Fast Cap at the start of Season 1 like a year and a half ago.
There was one like a few weeks ago that was just about that level, where it was just...
Well, there was one at Murrow, too, in one of the offline matches. I think it was Teal Team 6,
no,
maybe?
we had an odd broadcast one on like Ruinberg.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. That was Teal Team 6. That was putting the three I7s on the South County.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Now, lineups coming in. We are going to move on to Himmelsdorf in game number 7. 07, 3 mice, 2 Type 5s, an E3 and an E4. F7, a 50B, 5 5As, and a bat chat.
Okay. It's a lot of 5As.
It's a lot of HP versus a lot of 5As.
Yeah. I gotta think about this for a second. Bat chat 50B, the Type 5s tear them. Well, actually, everything here tears them apart. Literally everything that could load HE and tear them apart. And then the 5As. Now, a 5A has 2,200 hit points. That is 800 less than the mouse, and is 700 less than the Type 5. But it's slightly more than the E3, and also slightly more than the E4. Why are you bringing the 5As like this? Is this blitz strat gonna work from F7? It looks actually, sorry, I'm gonna stop questioning it and let's just talk about what's actually happening. 5As, they've moved up the banana.
We've got F7 playing bumper car. Spirit got tracked and Mako's the chase potato holding the W. He just pushed him out of the alley and got him safe. And managed to get themselves safe before taking another shot. Now, the one thing I was going to say is 07 have started basically with 4,000 more HP than F7 brought this game.
Yep.
That is more than a single mouse. Now it's going to be quite a deficit they have to overcome.
Yep, and so the 5As have slowed down. Questions here for me are, what's the plan now, F7? Are you going to play corner games here against a mouse and Type 5?
You can't. You just can't.
It's not going to work out in the long run. This is just not going to happen. You're going to get fenced in. The 50Bs maybe you could do... Oh, okay, I see. Okay. Come with me on a magical adventure. Magical adventure time, people. All right, so Knight. No, Knight. Oh, come on. Okay, this is lame. I was so excited because I thought we were going to see Knight crossfire the Delta 3. But he's not.
Nope, he's going to go open up that one line with the bat chat, which is their only real play at this point. They need to get in behind if they can kind of chip away at that bottom corner, maybe flex around them. Now, it looks like at this point, this is the advantage that they have with these 5As, is they're fast, they're mobile, and those mouse and the Type 5 are not. So if they do this unspotted, they could get around. However, the E3 does get the light on the 5As getting out, and now they're kind of stuck there.
Here's what I'm waiting for. See where Knight is right now? He's on screen. You see where Fost is up there in the E3? Yep. Ooh, FC Dynamo spotted, though. And unfortunately, FC Dynamo, well, that was the worst time he could show up. And at the same time, let's go over to, Halo. Halo was out in the field, too. He gets spotted. Can't really aggress because guess what? There's a Type 5 there. You can't really go up against a Type 5 when you're a bat chat, so get on out. Also, there's the mouse, Warbender. Oh, and look at that. Okay. Jumping back to Knight. Knight gets spotted by Warbender. Because guess what? Warbender's a mouse, and I'm pretty sure he's got, let's see, he's number 3. He's got some optics, yeah. So Warbender can see Knight without a problem. Nicely done. So control right now from 07 on defense is good. They've kind of read into what's going on. They can tell that this is kind of messy from F7 and to kind of hold their ground. Just keep dealing damage, trading effectively. You can see that only major issues in Fosta have taken any damage whatsoever. Although Fosta lost his gunner. Oh, it's because he brought 2 kits and a cola. I don't know why you bring 2 kits and a cola. Now that your kits can just kind of heal themselves, they come off cooldown.
No, I'm pretty firm with Comps' view on this. We talked about it a couple days ago. It should just be a first aid, repair kit, and auto fire extinguisher. Rations, like I can kind of understand, but double stacking repair kits these days kind of seems redundant because that means you're planning on getting tracked or damaged more than once in a very short amount of time, which
now look at this.
Does not seem like a fun game plan.
Here's the move from F7. They're gonna move Chase Potato and Spirit
They're
Walker.
gonna go for a cap fest, I think.
Yeah.
They're gonna push across, try to screen, and put these 2 tanks on cap, maybe.
That's the idea. You should be doing that, but we also don't need to see any hesitation. Need to just be forward is the best direction.
Meadowhawk is taking a lot of damage. Now they should have that 5-line control and these 2 tanks on the back corner here.
And this is it's weird that 07 gave up so much on the 2 cap and just kind of left the whole thing alone. They were expecting a flank around to the south to hit their number 1 cap, but it looks like in hindsight, 07's going to be saying they really overreacted. And now Arclet's moving in, 68 on the cap. You got just 10 seconds left. A little bit of resets coming in here. FC Dynamo moves in. Let's see, can he get a connection?
4 seconds.
Looks for Andy. Connection to Andy.
Seconds, but he doesn't have the cap points. And 1 reset comes in onto Spirit Walker, but Zoned is the one with most cap points, and he gets reset now. Now it's down to Chase Potato and Makos, and Bloop is pushing in behind, and I think this is pretty much over for F7. This is the last chance they have to get this cap, 8 seconds, but Bloop should be able to close in time. Yeah, this is over. This is over.
Yeah, there's Bloop finding his target. Stay on target. And he's going to boop Chase Potato. And then bloop him in the face. There we go. Nice shots. Looks like little shots from downtown from Fosta. Knight in the 50B finds Fosta and makes his day a little bit more painful. We got Andy and Zoned trying to escape at the same time. And yep, the entire F7 strat is in shambles. 07 has done a fantastic job here, holding on. Nicely done.
Tried to run the original attack defense strat on Himmelsdorf against the team that was here when it was happening.
Ha. Yeah, not gonna work. That many 5As is not enough hit points, not quite the right amount of armor. You can try to DPM your way through this, but the focus fire and the there was a lack of violence of aggression, I guess is what it's.
Yeah, in my opinion, if they were going to make that work, what had to happen was the 3 tanks on the south end of cap needed to push across and really get in their face and really guard that top right corner at A6 from the resets. And make it as hard as possible, and just understand that if that cap doesn't come through, you're going to lose. Instead, they tried to play a little bit of both, tried to go for the cap and play the fight game, and
they kind of stopped.
Yeah.
You can't. You got to follow through, because what F7 did there is, while they did kind of kill 1 tank and take control of an area, and things were close at a moment, you noticed that there were corners that players were allowed to just come around and then get shots on target. Yep. You need to make it so going around those corners is monumentally risky.
They didn't want to commit to doing one strategy or the other, going for the kills or going for the cap screen, I felt. And that's kind of, being in the middle of the road, and in the middle of the road is where the suicide lane is. It tends not to go well for people to sit there for too long.
I love that saying.
Yeah, well.
It's a good one. All right, nice the last one, though. There he goes. All right.
And that's going to be 07 bringing it back 4-3.
Not bad. 07 showing
the series to another game.
Yeah, I'm glad this is the 07 we got today. They've now met the score line at minimum that I was hoping for. And here's to hoping that they can finish out the season very nicely.
This is what I want to say.
Yes,
this next round is going to define F7 season. This is make or break. They need the 3 points. They cannot not get 3 points, and they have to hold this defense on Himmelsdorf. Get this? They have a outside shot still at making playoffs. Still not fantastic. They have to take on top tier. However, if they lose this, their season is done and dusted right now.
Yep. This is
how important this is. Their chances are already slim, but to keep that flame alive even a little bit, got to win this round right now.
Yep. And well, if it goes that way, it goes that way. If it doesn't, well, then 07 will have indeed crushed dreams, and Meadowhawk will be joining us on a face-off again. He thought that might be his last.
Well, it's going to take 07 doing it in overtime though. So if 07 have to win 2 more rounds, F7 it doesn't matter, because if they don't get this point, they're pretty well sunk.
That they are. Taking a look at some of these this last battle again.
Now, I will say mathematically it is still possible if F7 lose this. However, highly unlikely at that point. With top tier as their last match, that's going to just make it entirely up to Aquatic M60s instead of trying to control their own destiny. Now looking at that game, Arclet, 4K damage, 3 kills, 100 fantasy points. He played that top corner very well. Knight doing what he can, and almost another 4K, 67.
50B, nicely done.
FC Dynamo getting some good resets there, some fantasy points. Andy Pants, Makos doing what they can. Good, got pretty good damage for what happened there.
Point this out, Andy Pans and Makos, new additions to the team.
Yep.
Andy's struggled most of the night, finally puts up solid damage today in this battle here. So it looks like they're finally kind of getting more and more comfortable with each other. It was something to watch out for. If we'd seen Andy kind of low perform the entire match, I would have been a little more worried, but it looks like he's able to kind of turn a little bit of that around. They're getting more comfortable, and so he's putting up good damage now.
Another note there, Spirit Walker only getting 10 fantasy points. You know, he had a good first map, and then after that, it's been pretty much downhill for him.
I think I chose him today. Did you?
Yeah, he has the highest fantasy point average on their team. He's a consistent performer. However, tonight he's really struggling, whether it's the new additions of the team kind of throwing him off or just having a bad individual match day.
I think overall we can say there's mistakes happening on both sides right now, but ultimately it's a lot of individual player stuff that's winning these battles.
Yep. Now looking at the lineups as they come in here, 07, 2 mice, Type 5, 250Bs, an E3, and a bad chat. F7, the team having to defend, coming in here with 2 mice, 3 Type 5s, and 2 E3s.
All right, nice and heavy. 07s though.
Yeah.
Down by about 1,000 hit points only.
2,000.
2,000? Oh.
Just under 2,000.
Yeah, okay. I forgot with the 950 and I went 880 and I was like, why? Oh, yeah, sorry.
Don't worry, Randall. I know math is hard.
Yeah, I know. It's lots of numbers. I just let the game figure it out and RNG it for me. There's Fosta.
Type 5's trying to open some volleys towards Fosta in the bad chat.
I don't know, Fosta. With your turret up like that, the gun could catch an HE shot. Oh, I see what's happening. There's just a lot of blind fire from FC Dynamo and Bloop. They're kind of looking down the line, trying to snipe out. Zoned takes a shell. Let's see what you see, Bloop. Anything? Nope, nothing left. And now that's going to prompt the main push from the heavies. Hello, heavies. It's Major Issues, Meadowhawk, and Warbander. Looks like they'll start heading down the banana in just a moment. At the same time, you can see on the mini-map. Pause for a moment. Tank Destroyer. So, standard positions, standard positions. And Bat Chat will perhaps do some nonsense. 50B moves around and does whatever he wants. Oh.
And it looks like another 50B joining them up on the hill.
Yeah, looks like he'll just go up and around, so that'll probably be on the 0 line, focusing down that way. Says that there might be a 2 split on cap.
It's more or less the way I view it as backup for Arclet, because that E3 is kind of vulnerable by itself. Tank gets up alongside it, can be in a bit of trouble. So 50B, just an extra tank there, help get anything off, if it gets around the sides.
Yeah, we'll see
what that sort of thing down. Now, they don't have any actual real speed, and whoa!
Arclet, you were supposed to die slower. But he tried to cross. He tried to cross without getting spotted, but he got spotted.
He got Type 5 is what he got.
Well, wasn't that a firing line with a number of tanks? That was...
The E3 and Chase Potato?
And Andy Pans and Zoned were around?
I don't know that they had those shots lined up at that point.
I think they would have been the ones to spot him crossing. Maybe. I don't know. That's weird, though.
I was busy looking over at night on the one line.
I was sitting here driving a camera thinking I was about to do a smooth transition into Arclet's firing position where I was going to just, you know, like, we thought we were going to do something there, but then... Wow.
And that is a giant gift for F7.
It's like those moments when you're like, oh, he'll stop here. There's no way he's going to keep... Okay.
Now.
And, oh, mid-split.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we haven't seen mids. We don't see many of those. Not a lot at all, actually. Where instead of going up on the east side, you're actually going up the mid road, the 5 road. The risk here, though, is the flank from the west. But I see FC Dynamo kind of waiting there. So we're gonna use some mini-map, James. We're just mini-map it up again. Are we going north up the 5, or are we gonna go around and up like this? Because we've got a Bat Chat as well. And we've got a 50.
Bat Chat probably get used for cap pressure more than anything.
Yeah, so this could be a 1 cap at the end of the day, but it could turn into mid 2 cap. But with this 50B, he's probably covering. This 50B is probably either kind of just covering this area.
He can do what Arclet was going to do, which is kind of watch that beeline there and try to you know, get shots on people moving over towards that 1-2 line.
Important spotting right there. Spotted back. E3 can cover. We'll just need to see these guys move up and around. They'll take out the Type 5. That'll move the mouse over.
I just noticed something on Knight.
Yeah.
So with the Type 5 meta being a thing right now with all these Type 5s coming out,
Yeah.
Knight actually running a heavy spot liner on his mouse.
Worth it. Fosta taking fire though. 7. Downtown. Let's see, is that Makos? Makos has 752. And Knight.
And that's actually Makos as well, running a heavy spot liner on that E3.
It's worth it. HE meta is too strong.
Yeah.
And there's the push. Meadowhawk, Warbender, and Major Issues moving on out. Here, the goal of this, guys, is going to be to kind of survive between Knight and Halo and just put some damage out there.
Knight takes a bit of damage.
Under this distraction, you're going to see 50 Bs and Bat Chats try to sneak in behind lines and make something happen. The problem here is that 07 is going to bleed a lot of damage, and they're going to have to outplay their opponents pretty well, actually. This no joke, this is going to have to go fairly well. Major Issues in the Type 5 blocking might not be a bad idea right now, and the 50 Bs need to be in position because that damage is not there right now, and it needs to come out. F7's going to be able to get in position and make this crossfire happen. So you're going to see how these guys are backing off from 07. It's the smart play right now. Continuing forward would have been a mistake. Makos has moved out of his position. Pay attention to that. That E3, had he stayed where he was, that pins our Bat Chat. Because of that, James, Fosta in the Bat Chat is going to be able to get behind enemy lines, perhaps do some damage. Dangers, of course, that approach. Also, pay attention elsewhere on the map. 50 Bs. Bloop is moving in. He'll be going up against Zoned, a full health mouse. FC Dynamo is in the area. He's on reload, and Fosta is going down. Okay, Fosta down means no more Bat Chat on the flank. This is looking good for F7. They should be able to close in and finish off Warbender. There we go, 787. FC Dynamo will be reloaded soon enough, but possibly not enough to save the south flank. 50B moves in from Bloop. He's able to get a kill on Andy, but 445 on the mouse means he's going to have to run away. And a few shots as he leaves aren't half bad either. And Meadowhawk will not live much longer as he goes down.
Team Rep versus Team Rep.
Yeah.
Chase Potato takes down Meadowhawk. And now only 2 tanks left alive for 07. FC Dynamo trying to get alongside Zoned here. Get his clip off. I don't even know that he can kill him with the shots he has left.
Nope. 127 left. Bloop's going to have a shell for him, and they're going to run away together. Now, here's the thing. 250Bs, if they do things correctly, they can hold on for 3 minutes. That's just the tricky part, though.
Yeah, the problem is they're attacking.
Yeah, also their escape routes are about to be pinned. Spirit should be able to cover the approach or the exit. And there's FC Dynamo. Oh, he looks for it, doesn't quite find it. Although, let's see. 50B might cross up north.
Spearwalker actually did get spotted, so he knows that someone is
there
in that area.
Yeah.
Bloop still hasn't crossed.
Move forward, Spirit. Oh, Bloop. Oh, Bloop. I'm going to jump over to him. He's actually... Oh, wow. Bloop is playing this dangerously.
He's going in the blind spot right now.
Yeah.
Hugs that wall.
He just has to play it. He just can't mess up.
And Spirit Walker is going to find FC Dynamo and take him down. Bloop's going to come around, try to fire off some shots right now. Finds Spirit. Spirit's just going to turn to his side, try to get out of there. He's going to get safe. Does find the kill onto Makos.
Nice, nice, nice. And now he's on reload. So, 2 minutes, 5 seconds left. Is he going to keep trying to clutch this, play for fantasy points, or is he going to finally throw in the towel and just drive out in the open?
Now, we were talking about Spirit Walker not having a strong night, but he's already at 4,300 damage.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. He had a few bad battles.
Yep. Now, Bloop's still reloading. And now Spirit in that E3, getting his armor around.
Oh, nicely played.
Playing the hole down here. He gets tracked by 1. Knows he has 2 shots left.
Bloop tries to look for the safe spot. Knows it's not going to happen.
And now he's out, and now Spirit Walker's going to come around the corner and end him.
GG. That's it.
And that was going to be F7 getting a vital win to keep their season playoff hopes alive.
Yeah.
And 07 just coming up a little bit short. They looked decent. They had some solid rounds, but just like all season, it just hasn't really been enough.
Yep, just didn't come together for 07, but congratulations to F7. picking up 2 new players, really making things work for them today. There's a lot that they need to work on still. I'm sure that they know as well, but...
And they don't have much time because they get one more off night. They get Wednesday. They may get some scrims in, and then they have to play an absolutely vital match versus top tier, who have looked really good since Root came back.
Yeah.
Really good.
And they should be continuing that trend.
Yeah, we'll have to see how tonight's match versus Elevate goes from the offline matches. So, just super close games back and forth. But F7, once again, they needed it, and they managed to just get things together. They didn't have as much experience as some of these other teams coming into this season, but they've learned a lot this season. You can kind of see it in their play. They've made had some good games. Managed to take down both Aquatic M60s and 07 both times.
And the thing is, if that was Meadowhawk saying goodbye, I don't know, man. I just hope I hope he was joking.
We'll have to see what's in store in the future.
We shall. It's altogether scrappy match. 07 never really gives up, and that's always a pleasure to see. Now looking at the post-game stats, James, what stands out?
Well, Spirit Walker and Bloop both having great games. 4,600, almost 4,700, 3 kills for Bloop. 94 fantasy points, and Spirit Walker 93, 4,500, 2 kills, and 105 fantasy points. Not bad. Warbandor, FC Dynamo, and Meadowhawk doing what they can for 07. Meanwhile, Zone another 3K, and Makos another 2,700. Excuse me.
Looks like Andy Pants ends up getting on the board at all. There at the end, and then Arclet. Wow, Arclet just did not get to do much at all that time. It's too bad there. But looking at the match stats overall, Makos is going to come out ahead today with 448 points. Right there in second is Zone, 422. FC Dynamo, not as often picked up, puts up an almost 400 there. Yep,
and then Warbandor, and then Spirit Walker, who's one of the normal fantasy picks, 346. That's actually not bad considering how rough he had it in those middle games. In fact, he was able to claw out that much. Is pretty impressive.
Not bad at all. So, second page.
Another 400 fantasy points, not bad. Bloop, respectable 258. Andy Pants, another 258 there. And then major issues, Meadowhawk and Boston kind of struggling to get in there. Keep in mind, Meadowhawk did not play every game.
Yeah, and also let's put something in mind there as well. The new players for F7 today, those are Andy Pants and Makos. Those 2 players, per our pregame interview, I believe, it was Chase said that it only played like 2 matches, or I'll clarify, battles with those guys before this. So with the amount of practice that the team had, I think they managed to make it pretty well.
No, exactly. You can't, they, like I said, they only played with them twice before, but they felt these were changes that would help them improve their team overall, pick up some new memers. Now, speaking of them, we can actually talk to Chase Potato right now, who's going to join us for a winner interview.
Welcome back. Hey, how you guys feeling after that win?
Pretty good. Yesterday our scrim didn't go too well, and also I sort of took over calling a little bit now.
Okay.
So I'm back to calling with Knight. So yeah, and it apparently worked out well today. There was a couple miscommunications, but we still played well as a team, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't want to focus too hard in a negative aspect on the new players for you guys. That's Andy and Makos. But it was quite clear at some moments that players like Andy were, I hate calling him out individually, but that he was not quite in the right spot with the rest of the group, and it seemed like it seemed like he was trying to do the best he could, but
it seemed like he was struggling.
Like
there
was some struggle.
Way to say it.
Thank you. Were you guys noticing that, or were we really kind of were we perhaps projecting more so?
I didn't really notice that at all.
Okay.
It was just you can't really blame RNG, but there was a little bit on proc, but I don't think Andy didn't understand anything. I think he did pretty well today. It was just maybe we lack chemistry still, but we could still work on that.
Yeah.
But there's one game left.
No, of course. We just wanted to kind of ask, because what we see out here is of course that third-person view, and to you guys, like your view of everything is quite different. Speaking of, go ahead.
It's like I was going to say, the Sand River game, you guys were basically gifted there. Kind of walk us through how that kind of developed and when you recognized that they were that far out of position. What was the decision-making process that went on there?
Right. So when I did my scout run, I saw one Wheezy, and I thought he was going to stop, and then he didn't stop, so I kept leaving, and I saw 2 Wheezies, and then we're just like, go cap. Pretty obvious. They don't have anything to reset. Even if they had something, we had 2 bad shots up north that could just rush and kill it probably.
No. So
and they were out of position, so we could farm them as they come in.
Yep. So knowing where 3 tanks were, let you know where the whole rest of their team was in turn, basically, is what you're saying. Okay.
Right.
Yep. Fair enough. All right. Jason, you got anything?
Nope, that was it. That was my question.
Jason, any final thoughts for your fans out there?
No, just go chase Poto.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Congratulations once again on the win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, pretty decisive stuff there. Like you said, they had some games where they're definitely struggling. Andy had some games where probably should have landed some more shots, especially a few of those Ghost Town games. I felt like he could have played a little bit better. But overall, he did what he had to do for his team to get the wins at the end of the night.
Yeah, I wanted to ask him in particular because I felt like after a point I'd brought up Andy a few times, and I really wanted to have someone else address what I was seeing or what I was projecting.
Right.
Because ultimately I was wrong. I think I read too much into Andy.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, that about does it for our first game. However, just after our short break, guys, we are going to have Eclipse up against Teal Team 6, a battle potentially for second place, something none of us, or third place, excuse me, that potentially none of us really saw coming in the start of the season. It could actually turn into a battle for second place still, because that's up for grabs as well.
Yeah.
So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Of cover. The first thing to cover will be hold down positions and berm drills. American vehicles with their larger high turret allow greater gun depression, so they're particularly good at this. Generally speaking though, the higher the gun depression angle, the faster and more protected you can engage targets over the top of a hill. The berm drill is what we use to engage targets with a minimum of exposure. The general gist of it is you drive forwards, expose yourself, fire around, and then retreat back into cover while you reload. That's the basic idea, but after a couple of goes of this, the opposition is probably going to figure out what you were doing. So the next thing you want to do is see if you can do a berm drill at an angle, if your depression allows for it. Rotate your hull a little bit, so as you drive forward you're now moving at an angle. This means that you are providing a harder target to track. So if you spin 90 degrees when in cover and you switch from going front left to front right, then from the opposition's point of view, he's not exactly going to be sure where you'll pop up from. And hopefully by the time he sees you, gets onto target and his aiming circle decreases, you'll already have you shot off and be back into cover again. Now the other thing of course is that artillery loves predictable targets. We'll get back to this a little bit later, but the general takeaway for now is that if you're doing the same thing again and again, you can expect a 155mm round coming right down into your engine deck. This is bad. Again, as much as possible, spin your hull, make yourself a harder target. The next thing is movement between positions. The saying is that tanks go as the waters flow, but not where the tall reeds grow. The idea behind this is to stay in the low ground. So let's say you're done with your berm drills and you want to advance. Unless you are absolutely, positively, completely sure that there's nobody on the far side of the hill waiting for you to crest, reverse, make a left or a right, go around the hill, stay in low ground, and you'll move forward that way in more relative safety. It'll provide you cover as well as probably concealment. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the DIP, the die in place position. The die in place position is one where you think you've got an awesome fighting position, and you very well may have one. The catch is that when it's time to leave, and eventually there will be a time to leave, you cannot do so without completely exposing yourself to God, country, artillery, anti-tank guns, and everything else. So just be careful when you're deciding upon your fighting position, have a think about it. So that's it for Use to Cover. I'm Nicholas Moore, the Chieftain. See you next time.
Man, welcome back, everybody. We just watched F7 secure a win versus 07. And up next, we get Eclipse versus Teal Team 6. Once again, I'm James Rockstar Grief, joined looked up by Randall Rukil Holcomb. Now, quick update for the offline matches. It is going to be Dare Rising over Aquatic M60's 5-1. And in a close to an upset right now, it is 4-3 in favor of Top Tier over Elevate.
Top Tier has at the very least brought Elevate to a tiebreaker,
which is something no one's done. And if Top Tier can hand them that loss, if they can win this next round, which it looks like it's going to be a Mines defense, that'll be Elevate's first loss in the last year outside of the grand finals. So,
wow.
Yeah. Now, it should be noted that it is going to be both Striker and Comps playing tonight. And actually, Elevate are going to force the tiebreaker. That just came in right there. So it is 4-4 in tiebreaker. Now, make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at WGLNA. And also use the hashtag WGLNA. Let us know your thoughts. We'll try to feature them here on the broadcast if we see stuff we like. Also, make sure you follow us on Facebook for the Facebook Live pre-show every single match day at 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. Give you guys all the tips and tricks we can for Fantasy League, as well as just anything else, tanks, life in general. Just chat, have fun, whatever it is you guys want to talk about that day.
Yep, and of course, go to fantasytanks.com, where you can participate every match day, and of course, overall, for the entire season, for gold prizes, type 59s, and your dreams come true. That is fantasytanks.com. All you need is a Wargaming account, and you can participate.
Now, we will move on to Eclipse versus Teal Team 6.
Oh, yes.
Eclipse making one massive roster change. We'll ask T1 about it, but you'll notice that name up the top there, Annihilator. That is the one and the same from Gohard in EU. Jumping over, joining Positive on the team. You'll notice that No Nick is no longer on the team. We'll let T1 explain all of that in the face-off.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. And as we look at their opponents, they're going to be playing Teal Team 6. Teal Team 6 dropped Goat, and they dropped Pat as well.
Yep.
They've replaced him with Ali, the Persian dude. Remember him from F7? And then Commander J. Remember him from, well, Rival way back, and he's been gone for a little while. He's back, though, and that's awesome.
Yep, I really want to see what that first moment was between Greg and Ali the Persian dude. They just have that super awkward face-off on the last day, and it's like, hey, we're teammates now.
Now you get the context, though, right?
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yep. So, now, let's get into the maps that these teams are going to be playing.
Yes, let's take a look. All right, so first things first, we're going to see the bands in just a second, but I'm going to jump ahead for those of you. We're going to talk first about the map choices Prohorovka as we get the first bands out. This Merle and Ghost Town, sure. Proc being map number 1. What do you think of that, James?
Eclipse is one of their best maps traditionally through the seasons back to when they first entered the Gold League. So we'll see if Teal Team 6 are up for the task. And then we get on to Ruinberg, which, to be fair, Teal Team 6 have looked pretty good on Ruinberg lately. They've had some very, very good opening games, including that Fast Cap versus Dare. Yeah,
and it makes sense as to why they choose it. Ruinberg being Eclipse defense first actually might even work well for a Teal Team because attack seems to be the strat that they automatically go for.
Yep, and then Mines being banned, no surprise there. Himmelsdorf, though, banned for Teal Team 6. I think that's pretty smart, seeing as that's one of Eclipse's better maps recently.
Yeah, you don't want to take on Eclipse there.
Yeah, and then seeing Cliff sneak all the way through between these two teams, it's not something you'd normally see of two teams this caliber. So
yeah, I think it was because more so you didn't want to see Murrow, you didn't want to see Ghost Town, you didn't want to see Mines.
Right. Process of elimination.
Yeah, it's as next to everything else.
Instead of deciding which maps you want to play, you decide which ones you don't want to play, and you just play what's left.
Precisely.
And then the tiebreaker for the series will be Ruinberg if we get that far. So that's going to be, if it gets that far, it'll be a long series. However, Teal Team 6 playing pretty well recently. Eclipse, however, though, have looked pretty scary in a couple of their recent matches. They pretty handily put down Dare Rising, which, should be noted that Dare looked to be kind of in a slump right now, but they almost made it seem like child's play to a certain extent.
And I know what you mean. The thing is, Eclipse is one of those teams that is expected to perform today. Teal Team 6 could do things like Top Tier is doing right now and surprising us in one of those other matches, but we'll have to see. That's when we get to the battlefield. First
predictions. Let's get into predictions. See what the scores come up like right now.
4-5 is what did I put 4-5? I think that's mixed up.
No, that's going to be Ute that was 4-5. That's positive there. So you would have 5-3.
Yeah.
Ute had it 4-5 in favor of Teal Team 6.
Why?
I didn't ask him his logic. He said so during the during the Wargaming pre-show. If you check that out at twitch.tv/wargaming before every match after our Facebook Live thing, B-Ted and Ute normally sit down and talk about fantasy for a good half hour.
And they do a phenomenal job. Go check it out. But yeah, so I think it's going to be Eclipse taking this over Teal Team 6, the score of which that really depends on Teal Team 6 for me.
Yep. Now, keep in mind, depending on certain results, I think it was Love Hitman said that if on the last match day, if 07 beat Eclipse and Teal Team 6 win both their matches, they can actually steal the second place spot and get the free bye to the offline finals. Now, that is a giant task for 07.
Yeah.
They did it once this season. It's their only win. So maybe if you're Teal Team 6, that's not something you should count on. You should never count on the results from another game. You always want to control your own destiny. Now, a little bit of luck in your favor can't hurt, but that's a tall task.
That is. Okay. And I'm actually hearing that we may have both captains ready for the face-off. Gentlemen, welcome to the broadcast. Hey. Let's start with the big topics right now. T1, I'm going to you straight away. Let's talk about your roster changes. Tell me, what's up?
So Annihilator, it's actually not the same one that you said it was from Go Hard. He actually played on School Bus with Zim, and then he also played on Tornado Rocks with Positive, and his most recent team was Brainstorm, and then he wasn't on Brainstorm going up to last grand finals, so he just wanted to play, and he's friends with Zim and Positive, so
has he always gone by Annihilator, or is he just trolling us?
No, it's always been his name.
Okay, so 2 different Annihilators from you. Did not know that. All right.
Yeah, and
no, go for it.
No, I'm just saying, like, and the reason with No Nick, I mean, I posted on Twitter, but he's finishing up school right now in Ukraine. He's supposed to move to Canada in January, so. I mean, whatever happens with the league, he'll become like an NA player now, and it won't cause like region lock issues. So we can always pick him up back if he still plays. So
makes sense.
All right, now Greg, you made 2 roster changes of your own, picking up Ali the Persian dude, who you had a rather interesting face-off with last week, and then also Commander J. Why don't you go and walk us through those changes yourself?
Well, Ali came over and was basically like, "Hey, can I join the team?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, come here right now." And then Commander J, the walking encyclopedia, just kind of came over and was like, "Hey, can I join the team?" And I was like, "Hell yeah." Here we are now.
All right. So how do you feel your team is doing right now? Because you guys have had some strong results recently, and now you get a real test of Eclipse. You feel you're up for the challenge?
Just like last match with these guys are an experienced team. We definitely have our work cut out for us. We are coming off of a lot of pretty strong wins, especially the one off Dare. Nobody really expected us to take that. So we're just going to do our best and see how it goes.
All right. Now, T1, any final thoughts for Greg and Teal Team 6?
Go look, have fun.
All right. Greg, any final thoughts for T1 and Eclipse?
Peanut butter. I think he's saying peanut butter.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. All right, we'll see you on the battlefield. Bye, guys. He told me that he's going to do the peanut butter thing from now on.
Well, it worked last time, so why not?
It did.
We'll see if it works again. Keep going.
A tradition becomes a tradition because it keeps working, right? You just, as long as it keeps predicting correctly. All right, so let's move on, talk a little bit about this first match, all right? So we're going proc first. And here we're going to be looking at on attack, Teal Team 6, on defense, Eclipse. So Eclipse should be able to start this one off with a nice win. Let's play it nice and slow. We'll see if Teal Team 6 can bring anything to break the defense. Otherwise, this likely looks like a 1-1 or perhaps just 2-all to Eclipse.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Eclipse with their roster changes, Annihilator will be starting still. Did not know that there was 2 Annihilators. Just thought it was the same one the whole time.
Hey, I was just told it was the Annihilator that you were talking about, so it's good to have it clarified. Yep. That's all I care about. We now know it is the proper Annihilator. We know from when.
Yeah, well, from the sounds of it, the original, if he was back on School Bus, that dates him all the way back to the 742 days with Arclit a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've gotten to see those guys in action. Now, looking at the choices, you're seeing very early right now into tank picking. This is literally what happens when, excuse me, I'm so sorry about that. When players are told the 60-second countdown starts now.
Which we're only 40 seconds into right now, so it'll be another minute before you see the rest of these ready
only
up.
20 seconds.
No, 20 seconds in, yeah, the 40-second mark, they count down.
Yeah,
so
not up.
Yeah, so what happens is they can change tanks at any point during the 60 seconds, and when it reaches the 0 second, you're either readied up or you're not. The admin will not wait, and that game will start with whatever you are readied up in, as long as it is a valid lineup.
Yep, and you're seeing how players will ready up and ready down a tank, just to kind of throw stuff out there. We don't really go to this much because often it's kind of confusing to look at, but I mean, because we're here, might as well explain to you something that you often don't get to see. And there's everyone readying up with 10 seconds right there on the timer. You've got 4 IS-7s, 3 Bat Chats for Eclipse, and then you've got the 4 5As, 2 Bat Chats, and a T100 for Teal Team 6.
And what notoriously happened to Teal Team 6 during that whole process on their first match day was when, during that countdown, the Supernova hit the spectator button and was not ready up in a tank, and then the game started. And instead of just being a tank down, because he was in the spectator slot, it had to be a automatic DQ. So that is how that happened back then. Now, before we get into this game, I'm going to go over the lives real quick. 4 IS-7s, 3 Bat Chats, 4 Eclipse, Teal Team 6, 4 5As, 2 Bat Chats, and a T100. Now, we do have a little bit of news real quick I want to share with y'all. Top tier.
Yes?
Won the tiebreaker against Elevate 5-4.
What?
So Elevate handed their first loss outside of the grand finals in over a year. You know, Elevate, when we talked to comps before, he said if any team could touch them, it would be top tier if they were practicing and doing well. They had the individual talent, and they
genuinely
certainly showed up. Now, we are going to get into this game, focus on that. We'll talk about more about that later.
Opening scout run, Supernova, heads mid. There, nice shot on the move into positive. That's why you bring a consistent fire light tank like that. He's able to spot a number of tanks on the side of Eclipse. With that, I'm seeing a lot of Eclipse tanks fall back. That's the Bats. IS-7's moving up to play hull down, and Photo will be playing the far back line. Nice shots, though, into Germ. Little focus fire there. He's going to take about half his hit points in damage. I'm seeing Supernova sneak over towards Cap. Dark God taking fire as well. Nicely done by the players of Teal Team. They are winning in the damage category right now, actually quite well. Wow, Photo even taking damage. And T1's taking damage as well. And now full move from Eclipse. Looks like press from IS-7s. Bat Chats as well, saying, guys, just stop taking damage, let's just kill them all.
And Dark God Zim's actually taking a lot of damage. He's down to a 1-shot, and now the Bat Chats for Eclipse are just pushing over, but they're down 3,000 HP. And Zombie and Greg see that this is happening, and they're just pushing in, and this is just all chaos.
And Positive's just about to go down. One more shell gets him, but at the same time, Ali is down. Damage-wise, Germ as well. One more shell, he is dead. 3 tanks left alive now as T1 goes down as well. That early damage onto Eclipse ended up destroying them in this firefight. And now the focus coming in. Draw cab on fire for a second. Need one more shell, and there it is. Photo in the open. Takes 1. Takes 2. Annihilator off in the distance, doing what he does. And there we go, he is down. Annihilator is the only tank remaining. And Eclipse throws a defense away, oddly enough. That one did not go well. Early focus fire from those heavies was devastating, to the point that Eclipse made the call to just push. Yeah, this is correct. That was Eclipse your red team, James. Everything is correct. There's no misinfo. Looks like
Teal Team 6 decisively take game 1.
Yeah. Do you agree that came down to the early damage that
snowball effect, straight out and simple. It's just Dark God Zim took a lot of damage along with their heavy tanks. He got focused out first, and when you push into a brawl 6v7, especially when the thing is the i7s don't have that great DPM. They have the 470 alpha, and they got a little bit of a buff recently, but 5As, DPM monsters, they hit hard,
there too.
And Bat Chats came in, and they just straight up won the brawl. And the other thing you have to remember is those i7s pack APCR, which can be a double-edged sword. A lot of people like APCR over heat, but when it comes to heavy on heavy, most of the time, heat shells are going to be the better shell for the situation. And you know, when you have people like Spooky in a 5A doing 4,000 damage and Hitman doing another 3K, things are going to go your favor.
That they are. So that's a great start for Teal Team 6. That's exactly what you want if you're them, because that's gonna give you a nice little boost. Everyone's feeling good, and now you can go into the next battle with this. But looking back at what just happened, the press that we saw, you see how everyone on the side of Eclipse is well damaged by the time they get into an engagement. You see Focus Fire goes and kills Ali, and that's it. not really anything else gets too beaten up. In fact, there's quite a lot of split damage. And because of that, the Teal Team 6 just handled the situation.
Yeah, and looking at the damage that comes in here, Spooky, like I said, 4K damage, 1 kill, 100 fantasy points. The Love Hitman doing another 3K, 2 kills, 72 fantasy points. The Love Hitman had a great match day last match day along with Greg. Both of them continuing to have strong performances today. Another 2,400, 1 kill, 70 fantasy points. And then Viral doing another 1,900. Second page there, Photo Finish, 1,500, 1 kill, 28 fantasy points. I would expect to see him really step it up the next couple of games. And then Supernova. Doing what he could in that T100, picked up a kill, but not really able to do much damage, but it's not really his job to do much damage while you're playing a T100.
Yeah. So we're going to get ready now to flip sides and play our second round of proc. Looking at the lineups, we have an IS-7, 3 5As, a Grill 15, first one in a while, and 2 bat chats for Eclipse. For Teal Team 6, we'll have 5 5As and 2 bat chats. Simple, straightforward strat. I'm feeling Eclipse for this one, James.
Yeah, well, they need it. Now, the grill. Let's talk about that. What do you see that being used as this game? Hill Sniper?
Probably. It's fast enough that you can do stuff with it, and it's got okay camo. But why the grill over many of the other options? Is it the turret for me?
Turret and the alpha. You got to remember, it's a 750 alpha gun, so it smacks pretty hard. And in the case that there was a Sturv on the other team, because it's the 128 caliber, should be enough to just overmatch the armor of the STRV instead of trying to hit one of the weak spots.
Won't matter this time, though.
Won't matter because there's not one on their team. Still should be able to deal with those grills, or with 5As rather effectively.
Oh, looks like our grill might be able to find a target already. Fires, misses, gets spotted, though, and backs out. Positive, though, taking a strong push in there as the grill is actually forced to take cover. Really dangerous here. Already there's plenty of damage being dealt. Same time, looks like we've got heavies pressing on each other. Germ, Photo, Dark God, and Draw Cab from Eclipse are clustered together against 5 of the Teal Team 6 heavy tanks. So a little overmatch on the tracks, but if the crossfire can be maintained from Eclipse, they might be able to get the damage out to keep this competitive. But right now, hit points are in favor of Teal Team 6, and the grill support isn't really there yet. It's actually not doing
the biggest
much.
problem for Eclipse is they've bled all this HP and they haven't been able to kill Zombie Food and Supernova. Positive's still reloading, and it looks like Annihilator and the Grill are both going towards them, but these 5As are bleeding so much HP.
There was Draw Cab, and that's going to be the first domino to fall. I think from this, you're going to see the press right up and over. That's the right call from Teal Team 6. Supernova's going to get pressed on elsewhere on the map. He will go down, and so will Zombie. So Zombie and Supernova are down, but the press elsewhere with the heavies, Dark God and Photo shouldn't be able to hold on
They
too long.
recognize the overmatch. They understand the bat chits are reloading. They understand it's 5-on-2.
Oh, Dark God even catches fire for a second. Photo, I don't know. There he goes, okay. Dark God's going to try to regroup. Nice shot there from T1, sneaking one through the buildings. And we'll see if the bat chats can make something happen. Can they, though?
Yeah, the Grill. Now, keep in mind, Grill has 750 alpha, so, you know, he can really put a lot of damage in here. He's going to get one shot there. Nice 750.
Nice.
Now he's going to get beyond the buildings. Remember, the heat shells are going to struggle against these objects. They need to be careful with their shots. And Annihilator's now loaded, so they may be able to get off some damage. Now, takes one. Ali's coming around. He's not going to get reloaded in time. Annihilator trying to do what damage he can. He gets a track shot, and it's actually going to be the left hitman that picks up T1.
Nicely played.
2 bat chats versus these. Ali's caught out in the open. Annihilator takes a shot in return. Doesn't actually connect, though.
Nicely into the love hitman. And everything's fairly low right now. So what you're looking at is a situation where Positive can do a lot of work. He just has to manage not to die. Nice shot, though, into Annihilator. From
nice shots from Greg and the left hitman. Those two are really on fire right now.
And now looking at the hit points, 3,213. One clip is not enough for Positive to get all the kills. He will need 2 clips or a miracle. Miracles are okay, too. But going uphill like this is going to be dangerous. It's spotted. One more. And a trade. Positive kills Spooky. Ollie kills Positive.
You know, every match day with Teal Team 6,
yeah,
I just find myself sitting here and just going, how? Why?
Where was this? Is that what you're asking?
Where'd this come from? You know, it's just still not quite over that.
End of the season is where surprises are happen. Everyone kind of holds on to those surprises, waits for them in the back pocket, and then decides, I'm motivated today.
Just take a second to think about what we just witnessed.
Which was?
That was Prokhorovka.
Yes.
Prokhorovka.
Yes.
That is one of Eclipse's best maps.
Yes. and they just dropped 2
and
off.
they just dropped 2 games. On this season, Eclipse have, let's see here, on Prokhorovka, they're sitting at a 70% win rate over 16 games.
Yep.
That is a map they do not drop rounds easily on.
Yep.
They just lost twice.
Yep. That'll happen. So with that in mind, we're going to look at the next map, James. Ruinberg. That's where it is. And Teal Team 6 has been playing well on that. If this trend keeps up, you know what? Maybe you will be more correct than we imagined, James.
Well, at this point, we're all going to be wrong because that's a 2-0. That's not even close yet. Eclipse needs to step it up and get some rounds.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we aren't even going to get to OT. It's just going to be Teal Team 6 just stomping over Eclipse.
Yeah, it would be quite strange. So overall,
I mean,
guys,
it has been a day for like backwards games. Top tier beating Elevate.
Yeah. Then we've got, of course, like F707 was a little weird at times.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Dare M60's one is expected.
Yeah, that was actually...
Yep. Now, one thing we haven't mentioned, though, real quick, a few little roster changes from the other teams. Aquatic M60s, while they lost Mr. Man, they picked up Wally Whiff and Vale, both formerly from F7. And then I don't think there was any other major changes outside of Mr. Man joining Dare Rising. I think we've talked about everything else.
We might have we mentioned Wally Whiff?
Yeah, I just mentioned them.
Oh,
Wally
sorry.
Whiff and Vale both joining Aquatic M60s.
I can't think of what else. No, that's
that
it.
should cover all the roster changes, but that, we didn't see them tonight, but we will see them on the next match day.
Right.
Now, we are going to head into battle number 3, where Eclipse need to turn it around because they're starting off not in the way they wanted. And they are going to have to do that on defense. The lineup's coming in, a 113, 250Bs. A 215B, the last time we can see this tank in League, because starting tomorrow, it will be a special tank, and not all will be played in League will be replaced by the Super Conqueror. A Mouse, a 5A, and a Batchat. Teal Team 6, 5 IS7s, a Batchat, and a TVP.
There we go. So,
yeah, we glanced about it earlier, the changes to the light tanks coming in the patch tomorrow, but that's the other major change. 215Bs being replaced, just like the Foch 155 will be moved to a special tank. Owners that already have it going to keep it. And there will be a new Super Conqueror put in its place to kind of line up with the rest of the line before it, the Carnivoron and the Super Conqueror, and the regular Conqueror.
Did you say Carnivoron?
However you say it.
Carnarvon.
Carnarvon.
Carnarvon. Carnarvon. Carnarvon.
I'll just let you say it.
Carnarvon. Ermagerd Carnarvon. You remember that team?
Yeah, that's a throwback.
Yeah, good times.
Now, Positive is spotted, and they do spot Supernova in the south, along with their TVP, and the I7s are just plugging straight up that 6th line. And it looks like we're going to see Dark God Zim just get all the way down here. Now, he needs to beat the IS7s to this ridge, or Dark God Zim could end up in a world of hurt. Now, if he can get down here in time, the IS7s will struggle to get penetrating shots onto him. Even though turret's not the greatest on the 113 at that range, the I7s and the APCR shells, he should be able to make it work all right. Takes one shot from the TVP, bounces another. And now the I7s are going to push off of Cap and look for the tanks from Eclipse. And now he should be in a decent spot to get off some damage. Start firing shots. Actually takes a nice shot there for 506.
And then nice crossfire here into Greg, as it looks like Viral is going to decide just pressing forward's the idea. Gets himself focused out here, and one more shell should take him down. Bounce, though. Annihilator's going to be on reload. Shot still coming in from the rear, you can see onto Greg. And that's that 113 downtown. Positive is down, so no more Batchat, no more flexibility like that.
And Dark God Zim is just rifling off shots. No one has pushed him. No one has come to get him. The medium tanks in the south are still lurking down there, and he is just able to rifle off shot after shot after shot right now. And he is really being a problem for Teal Team 6.
That he is. But the thing is, the press forward in town right now is going okay in many ways. Now, Germ hasn't taken a lot of damage, but so Drawcab and T1 have been the focus and attention of a lot.
Now, they pushed up, and they did kill Dark God Zim, but the support fire from Eclipse was pretty solid. And now it seems like we're going to have Germ just pushing in this Mouse, just trying to stay in the fight, but the tanks from Teal Team 6 are just driving away from him.
Look, Supernova has finally moved in. Nice focus fire. Zombie goes for a ram, and that's a ram kill right there and an IS7. Looks like Annihilator's about half healed.
Photo finish is on fire.
No, that sucks for him.
And Germ just trying to stop people from bullying his teammate. Annihilator still has to come off of the reload. And he should be able to try to get his clip in here. This clip needs to be effective if they're going to stay in this fight. It is a 4v3. Ali the Persian dude just getting bullied around by Germ, doing what he can, but the left hit man finds a shot on a photo finish. And man, oh man. Now Annihilator needs to have a big clip right now if he's going to make this work. Finds one into Ali the Persian dude. Left hit man finds one in. So does
But he's getting focused
zombie
out.
food, and he does manage to pick that up, but that's going to be 3 tanks, and now he only has 1 shot left. I don't think it's going to be enough. Doesn't even get connection. Now it's all versus Jerem, and this is about to be Teal Team 6, making it 3-0?
Okay. I guess. What's going on here today, James? Why? This isn't the Eclipse I know. At all. I mean, this is really weird.
Maybe we just need to stop doubting Teal Team 6.
No, I really feel like Eclipse should have figured it out or responded better.
We said that after Dare.
Yeah.
We said the same thing.
Yeah.
And here we are versus Eclipse.
You know.
Can it really be more than one team just having a bad match day versus Teal Team 6 within a week?
Okay, I see your point.
I mean, as much as there definitely could have been some better play there from Eclipse, but overall, Teal Team 6 did things right. Hey, Mouse is going for a flank. Just drive away from it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just not much to say other than that. It was just a solid play from Teal Team 6. Good raw aggression, good focus fire. I didn't like how long they left Dark God Zim down there, but they ended up pushing over and getting him down when they kind of realized that he needed to get him dead. They waited for their all-alerts to get off their clips. Once they were reloaded again, then they pushed in and got him out.
But how do you make a push like that happen, James? How do you push into that little town and then come out ahead, actually, as the attackers, when there's no there's no strategic reason that Eclipse should not have been able to make that happen. Like, that's what's so baffling to me, is that numbers-wise, the advantage was there for Eclipse, but they still managed not to make their quite right play. And individual stuff kind of got in the way as well.
It is a really tricky town to play around, and it's kind of like all of the map of Ghost Town to a certain extent, is you don't really realize how long some of those lanes are. Now, we'll get back to that in a second. Look at the damage. Now, the Mouse doing what he could, 4,600 of Germ. 84 fantasy points, but then the Love Hitman still on fire the last couple of match days. 4,100, 3 kills, 107 fantasy points. Zombie Food, 3,400, and it goes on and on and on. And then on the second page, only Spooky down there in that TVP, and there's 1,702 kills. And then looking at it, positive, not able to get any damage off.
I didn't realize that part. I thought he'd at least managed to do something, but he didn't do any damage. And because of that, okay, that makes a lot more sense when you have that context with the lack of damage. Because I saw him firing, and that was what was weird to me. It was like, okay, Positive's being able to unload in a bat chat. What's good? This should be going well. And then, well, it turns out he bounced or missed most of those.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, just overall, Teal Team 6 making it work. Now, they are on defense, and they're going with a much heavier lineup, and Eclipse need to find a way into this. And if Eclipse don't win this round, it will literally be lights out for them.
Literally? Figuratively.
Figuratively. All right, now looking at it, lineups coming in here. 3 mice, a 113, 250 Bs in a bat chat. Eclipse coming in there with 2 mice, 2 i7s, and 3 bat chats.
And then opening moves, you got a bat chat going north. Annihilator is going to be that one. And then going to the middle of the map, let's check out the mice. Whoop. So, cool. Dark God Zim, draw cab heading up the mid with bat chats out on the far side. So let's see, Supernova over there. Making a little scout run. And
2 mice for Eclipse pushing straight up the middle road.
Not spotted yet. Note the firing line, which we're about to run into with Supernova. These guys still making their way over into the town. It'll take a hot minute. As Nova, good route. I like this. He loops over in the south to spot bats moving up south, and now he's going up the mid-ridge where he spotted 2 mice. And he's managed to make the approach in such a way that, well,
he has not been spotted this
time. That's really, really tight stuff right there. If the rest of his team is ready to do stuff about that, like if they're ready to respond and put fire on those targets, that's going to be great. If not, then, well, all it was really great intel. But he'll back off and go north. Now, Spooky and Ali will probably want to start doing something.
Now, keep an eye on the minimap. Or actually, it's going to be on screen right now. Supernova and that 50B pushing around in the north. Now, they may get him behind those 2 mice. And since there's no protection back there, they could get focused out really easily. Now, Eclipse don't really have much of a game plan set up right now in terms of they have no cap pressure. They're just sitting here, sitting around, and no one's moved to start the cap. You know, that they're trying to hold on. Now, it looks like they may be trying to bait this rotation, but the mice really aren't in a position to deal with it, and just the single Batchat pushing down there.
Yeah, what's really strange about this is you can see how everyone is actually quite far back. And there's the Cap. That's Germ right over there. He'll be jumping on Cap, and that'll put pressure for someone to move up. And that's hopefully where you'll see Minimap for a moment here. Hopefully you'll see fire coming from the south onto that. And that's Ali in the 113 at the same time taking fire. Excuse me. Looks like that's from our mice in the mid. Dark God and Draw Cab will be just kind of firing on him while they move up. A little fire though coming from Zombie. And that's going to be 50B flank. That's from Spooky. And that's against Annihilator.
Supernova and Annihilator going 1-on-1, but Spooky's coming to help, and now Annihilator's just going to play the hit and run game, get a few shots off. 50Bs start getting the shots in, and he barely gets over there. And now the thing is they have his way out. He cannot leave. Now Supernova is reloading.
Annihilator can do some fun stuff here. See this little mound in front of him? Hopefully he plays that. But it's risky. There's another Batchat coming back. Looks like that's T1 Diabetic. Yep, he's on his way back for support. And that's going to be the Batchat and Spooky moving out. So good play there. Ultimately, they ended up just kind of damaging and scaring off a tank.
But now look at this. We're going to see 5 tanks for Eclipse get on the Cap. Looks like they're going to use the mouse to screen for the others possibly. And they are going to start the Cap pressure. They know that Teal Team 6 is backed off this far. So they are really going to make them come out in a panic and try to get some damage off. Batchats are both in position to support, and they know that Teal Team 6 have the Batchat and the 50B out of position.
Yep, that's going to be Draw Cap to block Ali. And then, well, here's the problem with this, is it's actually inviting a position for Eclipse that they really didn't want. And there's focus onto Ali. Damage onto Photo is getting a reset. Positive is spotted. We need to keep him up. That's
10 seconds on the Cap.
Just need a connection.
5 seconds.
Love Hitman, nicely done into Positive, huge reset.
Viral actually bounces a shot off of Positive, and now the Batchat's in the south starting to unload on him, and Positive is just going to leave the Cap. He's going to go try to get a clip of damage off. And Eclipse are not in a strong position right now. They're not getting the damage that they need to punish for this. Reset's going in, and the mice are just pushing forward and bullying Positive, doing what he can onto Viral. He has 2 shots. He should pick it up. Left Man does pick up Drock. And now Viral's down to a 1 shot, and Photo Finish picks it up. Now that is going to still be 2 tanks going down for Eclipse. They are bleeding HP.
And Teal Team 6 is doing great. There's 3 tanks left alive. And Eclipse is, well, Eclipse is losing here, guys. Yeah. So Dark God Zim's alone, just about. There's a Batchat over here, Positive. He's on reload, so he's not doing anything. Dark God's your guy. And there we go. Let's see. T1 trying to kind of 1v1 here versus Supernova, but he's kind of catching a lot of shells here. And here comes the volley. No one's actually looking at him. Odd enough. So Spooky. And there's Greg with the kill. That's it. That's battle 4. That's okay. This is weird, guys. Usually Eclipse would have probably made something happen a little bit more, but they dropped a lot. In fact, great job by Zombie Food. The 50B plays and Batchat plays by Teal Team 6 on the west side of the map, like, really panned out. The damage onto Annihilator was awesome. The just general chaos that seemed to ensue from that flank was great for Teal Team 6. I mean, they got some play off of that really, really well. Altogether, Eclipse is not playing at a level right now that Teal Team 6 is having.
Yeah, if I had any criticism for Teal Team 6, it was not finishing off Annihilator once they knew they had him boxed into that pocket where he couldn't escape. If they'd taken an extra 10 seconds, pushed the 50B who still had shell.
Pushed a little bit more in the first place because the Batchat that was up against him just kind of stopped and stayed there, expecting or assuming, I guess, that there were more Batchats up. It was safe maybe to assume, but it's difficult. It was a risk-reward thing.
They were in that sort of position, and getting the extra pick would have been nice. However, there's a double-edged sword though. What they did by leaving that quickly though was they got into position to support the rest of the team when that fast cap came out. So to be fair, you know, they did a good job of making sure they were in position to deal with that middle road and get the extra shots in there. So,
yeah,
you know, like I said, it's, you know, a little bit of nitpicky, I guess. But overall, looking at the damage here, Zombie Food 4K, 1 kill, 70 fantasy points. Greg, Supernova, Spooky, and Elliot Persian Dude all having decent games. Positive doing their 2K, 44 fantasy points. But he has not really had a strong match tonight. And everyone that has him on his fantasy team is going to be crying.
Yeah.
Just like me inside right now.
Oh, it's okay. A lot of us stacked for Eclipse today, but Eclipse is not playing very, very well.
After today, everyone's fantasy teams between that Teal Team or that top tier Elevate match.
Yeah.
Oh man, the closer matches are going to be the ones people didn't want to bet on, like 07, F7. That's not a match that you tend to stack because you really can't predict how it's going to go sometimes.
Yeah.
The matches that you expect to be predictable are not being predictable tonight.
In fact, they're being quite the opposite. They're being almost unbelievably.
Teal Team 6 is about to 5-0 Eclipse. Just let that sink in.
Yeah, that's what's trying to sink in right now, and that's the struggle. Is I'm trying not to jump to conclusions or something about why this is happening, because the simplest responses are not great to think about, but they're also kind of scary to propose. And I'm just gonna have to find out, like, what's going on here? Is it the peanut butter man? Like, is it really the peanut butter?
Now remember this. Eclipse are trying to hold on to their second place spot. Their automatic bye to the offline finals.
Yeah. That's why this is important.
With this loss, Dare, I believe, are going to be tied with them on points.
We'll check later, but yeah. We'll have to check, but that's what this is looking like.
Yeah, and then no one was predicting top tier to get any points out of that match versus Elevate, so now all that math goes out the window. And this is just total chaos, and everything is burning down all around us. Now we move on to battle number 5, Eclipse, 2 i7s and 5 bad chats. Teal Team 6 coming in with a 140, 4 bad chats, TVP, and a STRV 103B.
This is fine, James. Everything's fine. This is like every other season at the end, when everything goes out the window, because one little thing.
Get all these crazy roster changes. We get super experienced players from Europe deciding to play tanks again. We get Commander J coming out of the woodwork.
Yay. Miss him.
And then all this nonsense.
And we get standard defense from Teal Team 6. Eclipse on the other end. Well,
i7s are going to get spotted across that middle ridge right there.
Fantastic. Shots fired. Looks like Supernova's going to put one into the side of Photo Finish. Photo Finish can't catch a break today.
Once again, rip my fantasy points.
Yep.
Along with a lot of other people.
Yep. But anyway, looks like Germ's heading around the side. Let's see if this little flank maneuver, while there's a climb going on from Annihilator and Positive, this little flank of 2 bat chats is going to pay off. Because it'll be a hot minute, guys, before anything's going to show up.
And Teal Team 6, just totally infirm right now. 140 playing the little hold down right there. It's going to be kind of hard to kill. You're going to see these i7s push around, and they actually leave one of the i7s on the front side of the hill. Is T1 going for the climb? T1's going for the climb in an i7. We already saw Mr. Man do this earlier in the season in the Type 5.
It can be done.
Yeah, and he is going to push up there, get onto the hill. At the same time, Photo Finish gets over towards this 9 line. And they still have a batch out all the way over on the 1 line as well.
Yeah. And this'll happen. It just take a minute. Now Annihilator's going to start some blind fire, and while this is going on, you know, we've been watching a lot of the Eclipse perspective here. Let's take a moment and just kind of watch the blue perspective, Teal Team 6, and get a listen in with their comms at the same time.
Could have gotten there.
Yeah, it's here? Are you sure there's no way they could have gotten here?
I mean, I've been watching this the whole time.
I don't know.
No,
stop. Stay right here for now.
Yeah, they
It might be just be blind fire from there.
Yeah, I know. You should have just stayed there.
No, he did not light me.
What?
I don't know.
That's a me.
Okay, so there's a tank back here. But yeah, Viral, I want you to stay there until I, like, actually, because that's what I'm worried about. Can you get shots on Annihilator?
We got shots on the size 7 if he keeps going. Second. we get a relight or no?
Oh.
Yeah, no, Viral, don't do it.
I
Viral,
can't.
don't get
No,
lit.
don't do it.
No, he backed then. Because there's a middle ground between Nova lighting.
Oh, I found
There's
I-7.
I-7 on the hill. Do we want to take the rest of the map or no? We can shoot.
No, alright. Can you shoot him?
It's not a good shot. What is?
Well, you're
Nice.
just there. You got it.
Yeah, I'm still watching all of this.
I'm gonna drop down because this is stupid for me to stay here.
Get ready for the push. It's gonna come out eventually.
Not necessarily, because I can rock
I
one of those
think-
rocks and I have elevation up into there.
You might want to stay up there, just maybe not as far up.
Where do you think they're gonna push?
Positive up. Greg.
8-9 and hill. I've got no rounds on him. I'm looking.
Should we?
Be careful firing,
Nice.
guys. Just take that one shot and clip.
Definitely.
Because we don't want to.
Going for reload.
Yeah.
We don't
Annihilator
want to give them the clip advantage.
coming around.
Hey,
No rounds.
Okay, well I'm safe here 100%. Ooh!
You okay?
This is spooky, man. Like, you try playing this position.
No, I don't disbelieve you. I'm just like, you said that. I thought you were gonna get shot or something.
Annihila's up.
Oh, I got lit. I
took
got
the
lit.
hill.
I got lit over here.
Yeah, why are you
Battle
there,
center?
Spooky?
Yep.
they're
Too
pushing
bad.
I want to light that.
3 bets.
Okay, Spooky, just come low and try to get shots if you can. Just play
Yeah.
safe, though.
Okay, I'm safe.
Oh, don't
because
poke out on
you
that.
got lit.
You're just gonna blind fire it if you poke there, and if you get lit, you die. So
Yeah,
I got
don't.
lit.
Yeah, I
I
don't.
proxied.
Yeah, I didn't want to poke that.
Yo. We got photo coming up.
Photo can't do
Did my
anything
first
against me.
Yo, can anybody get rounds if I relight these guys?
I don't think so. I think they're pretty safe now.
You're lighting this? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
lighting
but
it.
he's looking for
I'm
shots.
gonna.
Safe as
hold on.
I know, I know.
I'm gonna rotate a bit.
Greg, you need to make sure you're spotting this.
Yep, I'm spawning it right now. I
I
just
almost
didn't want to get
Okay,
lit.
you need to leave then, Spooky.
I almost
Get
wanna leave.
farther back when you can. You can leave too. You can get like right here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Germ's up.
I should be safe unless he hits some nuts shots.
I didn't get lit by him, so.
I did.
I'm gonna
Yes.
watch. I'm watching 1-2 right now. Let me know if
Don't
something
let them
happens.
take the map from us.
Yes.
Did we knock down these destructible houses in here?
I can.
No.
I can.
You're on positive.
I
Where do
can.
you
I
want
can.
I'm spotted.
Where do you want me to play?
Just play. No, you're playing the same spot. You're just not playing as aggressively. Actually, no.
wait.
Come boost up here. Come boost up here.
Come into the pocket.
In the pocket.
Here.
Got it. They're blind firing. Oh wait, no, you're just shooting
I'm
at
gonna
the
watch 1-2. 4
Yeah,
minutes.
that's me.
Yeah, quickly get over here and climb up and boost up here. You know how to do that?
Yeah.
I'm feeling
Yeah,
like
I'm
this.
I'm
I feel
feeling
like
a
they're
1-2.
just gonna dump over. They're just gonna dump over on the hill.
Either they dump hill or they push 1-2. Now, if they push 1-2, Spooky, all you do is clip and then you drop down and use the rock.
Do you want me to
Okay,
stay
Greg?
here? Do you want me to stay here if they push one? Or mine?
Yeah. You can back. No, you can back up to
Yeah, I'll
these
back up to the
bushes
rock.
right here.
Stay
Yeah.
there to light it and then leave.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. 3 minutes.
Missed.
Oh, they're pushing.
Okay, let me get back down. They're not really pushing, I guess.
Oh, Annihilator jumped over to the next wall.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to get a light on me. I think that's what he was trying to do.
That fire would dump in on us.
No, don't.
No.
If you get him to. Oh, no.
I
If
seven
you get him to
shot.
fire one shell?
Just
Seven
take it
shots.
easy.
Okay, they're pushing middle and they're pushing hill. That's what it's looking like right now.
Alright.
I'll
Dispatch
watch
him up
that
here.
Fuck me.
I'm gonna come reboot. Okay, I'm coming mid.
Yeah. Just come up here and look for shots out this way.
I have fire
one
too.
in the hill.
You can go now. Fire, go.
I'm going to get pushed. Nice.
You're fine, dude. I'm
Your
covered.
germ is almost died. I only have
Nice,
2 rounds.
buddy.
Girl, okay.
They're pushing.
Oh fuck, no, I failed. I failed horribly.
It's fine. It's okay.
No, it's not fine.
I can kill Jock. I got
I'm
this
getting
one.
pushed.
I'm clipping.
You have to deal with it.
I am wrecked. He bounced one.
Oh my fucking
Bounced
god.
2. He missed another. I'm
8
alive
seconds.
for now.
Can anybody get Dark God? I'm loading 20 seconds.
Oh, he missed. I got him.
Nice
Nice.
kill, LD. They're really
Greg,
low.
you need to be a missile. You got an aggressive missile if you have shots.
Okay.
Are you loaded?
I'm loaded
Yeah,
at 10.
go.
Can we spot this? Can we
Go
spot
now,
this?
go now.
Yep.
Well, spot. I got shot. Can we
I got tracked.
spot this?
One more shot on photo.
Give me a distract.
I'm loaded
You can't
spot.
spot.
Okay, I'm reloading.
Photo gave up?
Greg, you gotta just connect shots.
I'm running.
One shot. Nice.
Greg has both. Greg just
Good job, Greg.
off an aim.
Suck.
Okay, I'm gonna try and kill Type 1.
Type 1.
T1 shot. T1 shot.
I got 1 round left.
Guys, just relax. We're fine. We got this. We just 5-0'd them, guys. We just fucking 5-0'd them.
I want you guys to look at my damage after this.
So what happened is when I went down into this, I hit like this little bump. Annihilator backed up into me, like he completely outplayed me.
By the way,
like he caught the bottom of my
So
tank.
Hitman, you have to remember when you get pushed, there's literally like 6 guns that can support you.
I got pushed the second time, but Germ bounced me twice.
Randall, save me.
I don't know, man. Like, how do you lose viral off the side of a cliff and still win? Right? Like, how do you do this? How, Teal Team 6? Like, congratulations, but, like, what did you have to do? Like, who sold their soul?
I'm on the Teal Team 6 hype train now.
You are?
I'm jumping right on board. The
choo-choo.
I've been impressed by them thoroughly since that Elevate game. They've been playing, to fight expectations. I doubted them coming into this season. A lot of personalities that have had issues on other teams over the seasons. I don't think anyone will dispute that. But this collection of individuals right now is playing out of their freaking mind. I don't know how else to say that. They're playing great. Their synergy is on point. Their focus fire is good. Their strats are not Wallhacks level, but they're getting there. They're very well thought out. They're good crossfires. A lot of redundancies. They want to take map control, even as the defense.
Yeah.
So often we see teams kind of fall into the trap of just being passive and sitting still. But you heard them saying, "Hey, should we take the map control?" They're looking at those options. They're never just complacent. They're kind of as a lot of coaches say for a lot of different sports. Being on the balls of your feet, not being flat-footed, be ready to go. Yeah. You kind of sense that with them when they're talking, with how they're playing. They're doing the same thing. And I don't have any other way to say it. Then I'm just thoroughly impressed.
Yeah. Those comms at the end, I think, really showed exactly what's going on there. Just the energy, the focus, the communication. And altogether, just solid. I was really skeptical at first watching them. Because at first, you're sitting there, you're going, how is Teal Team 6 winning? It must be, like, let's see if this is a fluke, right? Because, yeah, you can take 1 or 2 strong battles at the beginning, but often a team like this will turn around and reverse sweep. Or, maybe you start off rough and things turn around. But in this case, Teal Team 6 started well, and to our surprise, managed to keep that up consistently for 5 battles straight.
Keep in mind, a near full health Bat Chat jumped off the cliff and they still won.
Yep.
Zombie Food doing 4,600, 1 kill, 114 fantasy points. Greg, another strong match, 3 kills at the end there to clean it up. Spooky, another 2 kills himself, both 80 and 90 points apiece. Positive, Drock, and Annihilator all doing what they can in those Bat Chats. Second page, Ali, T1, Viral, Dark God Zim, Photo, etc., etc. Nothing too surprising there.
Yeah. That was what it was,
And
man.
now for the page that is going to hurt everyone that's played Fantasy, because I guarantee you 90% of the people out there had 2 people from Eclipse. Well, good night to your Fantasy team. Positive top damage to Eclipse coming in there at 8,000 damage, 200 fantasy points on the night. And look at all this damage from Spooky, the Love Hitman, Zombie Food, Greg, all having solid nights. And on the second page here, poor Photo finish. Didn't even break 100. Oh, goodbye top 10 fantasy. Wow.
There we go. All right, so with that one, to just kind of continue the weirdness of today, why don't we invite our Peanut Butter King, Greg? I thought I was joking. I guess I'm not. Hey, Greg, welcome back. I see you. I see you're exfoliating right now.
I promised the team I'd do it.
Okay.
It's the peanut butter. I'm telling you. This jar of Skippy is the best thing I've ever bought in life.
Greg, we have more important things here than your peanut butter face. We need to talk about how the heck. Excuse me. That you beat Eclipse. Because if you aren't getting the message right now, Greg, I'm confused and scared.
You want me to be completely honest?
I would like that. I would like
I have no idea what just happened.
All right. That's fine with me.
We just 5-0'd the second best team in the league.
Yeah.
Can you call us Eclipse number 2, please?
That can be arranged. I think there might be some copyright issues, so we'll check back. But like seriously, tonight was excellent for you guys, and I don't. James and I were thoroughly impressed and surprised with everything. We don't know if this Eclipse off. Was this you guys just really good? Or are you doing the same thing that we kind of expect out of top tier, where it's a collection of good players that somehow just needs the right little element, and all of a sudden they're amazing? Like, what is it about tonight that felt good?
I don't really want to decredit Eclipse at all. I mean, they are a really strong team. However, both times that we fought them, it was not a huge blowout against them. The first match we played against them, we were definitely a bit shaky, and we ended up going 3-5 and then throwing a defense and not going to OT because of that. I definitely think that realistically we shouldn't be going 5-0 against a team as good as Eclipse, but
tonight
I think that they weren't intentionally throwing their matches by any means. I think that we just got the upper hand, I guess, is all I'm trying to say.
You have to look at what's on the line for Eclipse. The second place, the automatic bye to the offline final. They don't want to lose this game.
I heard the top tier beat Elevate straight out tonight. So
OT.
I would have
They beat them 5-4.
5-4 OT.
So I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to check points, but there's a very good chance that they could have lost second place because of this tonight.
Yeah. Which is phenomenal.
Which is going to make the last match day all that much more important.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, Greg, great to have you back on. Your final words for us tonight, sir.
If you're playing Wiggle Nut, buy a jar of Skippy because it's the best thing you can ever do.
They're not a sponsor, but you're a fan?
Oh, no, I'm going to get sponsored. Just you wait.
All right. We'll see how that goes. We'll see you next time. And as you always say, Greg, thank you.
Congratulations on the win once again.
Yep.
Love you.
Love you too, Greg.
All right. I am told now we have the standings ready. Let's pull them up because I don't know what's going to be there. 37 points for Elevate, 24 for Eclipse, tied with Dare.
Yep, no, we have to check on that one because it's going to come down to, I think, tiebreaker wins, etc. Now, deploy that top tier on 22 points. They are still in range to make that second place spot. And even Teal Team 6, if 07 can beat Eclipse on the last match day, then even Teal Team 6 have a shot at making that second place. So 4 teams can finish in second place right now. 4!
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because actually, it gets really complicated, and I'm not going to go into it right now because it's absurd. But if James, you got like a 4-way tie, there's all sorts of extra rules that we have for that scenario.
And look at this. Aquatic M60s and F7 are tied at 12 apiece right now. That means on their last match day, their matches are going to be super important. And keep in mind now, top tier play F7 and Aquatic M60s, let me pull it up here real quick. Aquatic M60s on their last match day have Teal Team 6.
What happened to this league?
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at next match day on Thursday. Let's just look at the schedule. Okay. F7 versus Top Tier, our first broadcast match.
Okay.
Followed by Elevate versus Dare.
All right.
Off broadcast, Eclipse versus 07 and Aquatic M60s versus Teal Team 6.
Okay. All right. This will be
every single point from any of these games matters. Think about this. An overtime loss for F7 could be enough to push them into playoffs if M60s lose. Think about how close that is.
And Teal Team 6 could use those 3 points.
Same thing. And Teal Team 6 need the points.
And Dare if they beat Elevate, because who cares anymore? Whatever can happen. Then all of a sudden, if they do that and Eclipse beats 07, then you've all of a sudden got another tie for second. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be madness. All right, guys, make sure you follow us on Twitter at WGLNA for any updates. Use the hashtag WGLNA. Let us know what you think about tonight. Let's see those responses. I'll check Twitter after the show. So let us know what you guys have to say. Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/WGLNA. Every single match day, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. Facebook Live pre-show. We'll answer all your fantasy questions or questions about whatever it is you want to talk about. Yeah. So get in there. It's a good time.
Yep, and of course, fantasytanks.com. I know it's too late for today, but, next time you can head on over there, join us, compete.
And I guarantee you everyone tonight had a absolutely awful match day.
Yeah.
Because I know I did.
Mine was okay.
All right, Randall, any final thoughts for tonight?
Nope, that's good. I'm going to go home and just think about things for a while. And then
good time to just contemplate life.
Yeah, and then by Thursday, I should have an understanding of what happened.
All right, guys. Well, I've been thoroughly confused for the rest of tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, I've been James Rockstar Grieve. That has been Randall Rookhill Holcomb. We are the WGLNA, and we'll see you Thursday.